was.
So get.
This is how it is today on Pop Culture Minefield. This is how it is today. This is how it is today on Pop Culture Minefield.
And then all the sorry.
But it was
Yeah,
such a
you
great
guys-
story, Gary.
Martin and Joe are having such a great conversation. I couldn't tell them I'm starting the show, so I just started the show while they were yammering at each other.
I was having a conversation with you, asshole.
Oh,
With
Yeah.
me.
name
was-
slinging this
I
early,
was-
Martin.
Not in a conversation with you.
You may have
Yeah.
thought you were. But guess what?
Tell me what's different in each conversation that we have, or
If I'm not engaged, I am not in the
I was
conversation.
going to say, I thought he started it because he got triggered by something Gambit said in the chat.
No. I told him, I told Gambit, I said, no, it's more than that.
Yeah.
It's because he brought up the fact that the movie was originally going to be Clint Eastwood.
Mhm.
Before that, they had talked to Lee Marvin, and I got to tell you, that would have been a hell of a movie with Lee Marvin. And I guarantee you, this movie would have been more violent.
Oh, yeah. Just a little.
Just a little. Clint Eastwood, I think he would have been good in the part two, but it would have felt more like one of his westerns. This
It is a Western.
feels. What's that?
It is a Western.
Well, it is, but it isn't at the same time. It has.
And it's definitely not a Clint
interesting-
Eastwood Western. That's for sure.
There's something so different about this movie than your typical Western because of the way, the thoughtful way that Redford plays the character, because he's a little more of a thoughtful kind of actor. And so you get that kind of performance. Lee Marvin would have, this still wouldn't have been a Western if Lee Marvin had done it. Lee Marvin would have been a lot like Redford, but he's a little meaner as an
Yeah.
actor.
Mhm.
You get kind of scared of Lee Marvin. You're not afraid of Robert
Redford
Redford.
comes off more like a guy out of his element.
Out of his element.
Mhm.
You still believe he knows what he's doing because he is a soldier.
Mhm.
This guy served in the Mexican-American War. He had some trouble in the military, but they've given some bad information on, like, bad info on Wikipedia, bad info all over the place about the real Liver Eaton Johnson. And the real Liver Eaton Johnson was really just a troubled man who had an inclination to violence, because he was a very violent man. But I don't think that he was a hateful man. He was just somebody that was very good at violence. And Lee Marvin would have played that to the nails. And because he was a fucking tough-ass Marine in real life.
Mhm.
Redford, this is no disparagement to the U.S. Navy, but he was a squid. And so he doesn't bring the same kind of badassery to a role like this that Lee Marvin would have. Clint Eastwood, he was Army, but he was a fucking diving and swimming instructor in the U.S. Army. A lot of people don't know that. Did you know that, Joe?
No, I
Okay.
did not know that.
Yeah.
Did not.
we have
Yes.
we have said that in this show.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. And don't get me wrong. I think that Clint Eastwood is just by nature kind of a badass. And his son has that sort of gravitas, Chris Eastwood or
Yeah.
Scott Eastwood.
It's Scott
Scott
Eastwood, yeah. Mhm.
And that boy can act. I think he looks just like his dad when he was young. It's kind of weird how much he kind of resembles his dad. It's because I always think that's weird when a child looks really a lot like their parent. Like
Oh,
Zoe, it worried me with her because she looks so much like me, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, please don't. I don't want her to be a teenager and look like me in drag. It would just be really weird.
You must think
no,
I'm weird then, because the only thing I'm
no.
missing from being my dad is a cleft in my chin, and that's it. I look
Okay.
Well,
exactly.
if your gender is the same, I guess it's a little more okay. But I once said that if I met a girl's parents that I was like going out with, if she looked too much like her dad, I couldn't have sex anymore.
Oh, good lord.
That would just be weird.
Well, in
Like
my
all I
case,
would see, seriously, all I would see is her dad's face, and I'm like, I'm out. I'm out. I can't do this. It's too
Mhm.
weird.
in my
And
case, I am a whitewash version of my dad. I
well, your
remember.
dad was he black? You said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Like what kind of black? Because you've got like culturally, you have in South America, you get like an almond, kind of color. And you look at them and they don't have the typical, as they refer to it, this is the medical, the Negro face where the nose is wide, etc. Instead, there's almost a
But
European look to them.
you,
What
you
was
have
with your dad?
you have to remember one thing. In
I
South
don't
America,
remember a goddamn thing.
well, you have to keep this in mind then.
Okay.
In South America, especially, I would say in Venezuela, we were apparently the inhabitants were hornier than the rest of the world, and they intermingle.
Hornier?
Yes,
Oh,
because they intermingle and they cross over with everything. So we 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 have
so they were
very
basically God's children and wanted to spread the word.
yes. So we here's the thing: we were operating on the basis of if I like her, if I like the other person, I'm going there. I don't care about the race. That's
Gotcha.
it.
No, I got you. I got you.
And we are basically a mixed race country. And then we had the migrations from Europe during the Spanish Civil War and World War II and World War One. So we just kept adding
Were you
genes
guys
to the
like
mix.
were you guys like Brazil with like towards the end of World War II?
No,
Just a lot of blonde.
no. They for some reason they went to Brazil and
Left you
Argentina.
guys alone.
Yeah, no,
That's
not
interesting.
we had some, but very little. Uh,
So I
so
told you I
I
worked with this guy, and we met originally through phone calls. He was going to be my kind of partner artist for the company when I moved down from um, Missouri. He was going to, be the guy that does certain kinds of graphics while I did specific other kinds of graphics. And it was great. I was going to be working with another artist, and we're still friends to this day. And
specific kind
but
of graphics. What you doing
I over
hentai?
the phone because they said, he's from Brazil. He's a very thick accent,
Mm.
but you'll like him. And so we're talking. I'm like, that is a really thick accent that he has, And I kept thinking, what a thick accent. But he speaks very clear English. Okay. So we had this great first conversation. Next thing you know, off the clock, we would like chat all the time. And we started becoming friends over the phone. And I had this image in my mind of about a 5 foot to 5'10", little dark-skinned, dark-haired little Brazilian guy. And because I've met a lot of people from South America, I've worked with them over the years. Roland Chinovi was one of my favorite friends that I worked with as an artist. He was head of the ceramics department for once we made the wax statues. He would take the wax statues with the gating system on them for pouring bronze, and he would take them into his department, start building up the ceramic that would surround the wax. That once it was thick enough, he would give them back to us again, and we would take them out to a big furnace and heat that ceramic up so hot that it would expel the wax out of it, and it was hollow now, so you can inject the bronze. And Roland was in charge of that department, and just one of the nicest guys. He was tall, thin-faced, kind of a prominent nose, dark long hair, looked very South American. So I meet this guy for our first meeting down there, and he comes in my office and he starts talking, and I'm looking at this guy, and he's like 6'5", very fair-skinned, blue-eyed, and blonde-haired. And the first thing out of my mouth is, "You've got some Nazi blood in you, don't you?"
Oh, gosh.
You could have been wrong. It could have been Spaniard. Because
Well, he also, his accent as we went along, I'm like, oh my God, he sounds like Arnold. He did. Suddenly his accent sounded very Germanic, and I was like, holy shit.
well, to finally answer your question, the thing is, my grandmother, she was black. She was a descendant of direct
This is
slave
your
descendant.
this is your maternal grandmother, right?
She was descendants of slave. But my
Maternal, not she's your dad's mom.
yes,
Yeah.
but my parental grandfather, he was from Spain, and he was a blonde guy with blue eyes. So yeah, and my and the line of my mother come from Puerto Rico. So for those genetics lottery, I didn't came out black. But my skull and my face is my father's, and the same for all my siblings.
That's crazy.
Which, by the way, is the same skull from my granny. So those were some strong genes there. Now, when we were talking about the Lee Marvin and the other casting
Well, yeah.
possibilities.
So what happened with Clint
wait,
Eastwood? I wanted to go into what happened with Clint Eastwood because I'm gonna fucking forget again because that's where I was going, and we ended up on this little
genetic trot down the rabbit hole. Yes,
and I'm gonna fucking forget. So let me say it real quick: is that Lee Marvin? I mean, Clint Eastwood and Pac and Paul did not like each other. They absolutely did not get along, and Peckinpah fucking walked away, and it died again until Redford stepped in, and that's what I wanted to get out there. That's why that didn't work. They were ready to go, and they were at each other's throats. So go ahead now, Martin. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What I was going to say is, I think, well, all that drama that you have talked about, I think it resulted for the best, because as much as I like Lee Marvin, I don't see the nuance in
He's
his.
too old looking. I got to
No,
be
and
honest.
there are certain moments in the movie in which Robert Redford has a nuance in which he conveys emotion with his face that Lee Marvin couldn't have done. Let's be honest. Lee Marvin was a tough guy, but I think he lacked certain kind of nuances in his acting, or maybe it was just his characters.
Mm. No, I
I
get you.
think.
I get you.
Oh, we have 11 Alpha! Yay!
More than 11 Alpha. So here you go. In answer to your question, Gambit, on Arnold lookalike, he did not. This was a drawing I did of him with Illustrator. And
Yeah,
he had
that
blonde hair, blue eyes, had a very long face and a square jaw. And he talked a bit like Arnold. And it was really fucking wild.
I think you may have.
And it has his name. That's his name, Christian Prado. Very good guy.
Yeah,
I love this guy. Just a sweetheart of a man. Had one of the coolest sci-fi action figure collections I've ever seen. All from like anime, and a lot of it was robot action figures and stuff, like from Japanese stuff. These weren't cheap figures either. Like I looked at those figures and I like saw one of them, and I'm like, how much was that one? And he says, oh, that was about $200. And I'm like, fucking shit, just for this one figure. Crazy, crazy shit. But anyway, off-screen animosity such as Eastwood and Marvin are hard to ignore. Yeah, because they let their positions be clear. And when you talk to Eastwood, you're talking to a guy who is already of a director mindset. He had a certain idea of things. And this would have been more like High Plains Drifter or what's the um, fuck? What was that movie called? The western he did that takes place in the country, in a logging community and gold mine community.
Pale Rider.
Pale Rider. This would have been a lot like Pale Rider.
Yeah.
When all was said and done.
He's tough, but he's a preacher and he's got, positive vibes. He's not
right.
So brutal. Yeah.
So another important thing here, let's go into the real history of the real Johnson. And he was a tough hombre.
Not the fake Johnson. No.
Yeah. Well, he was like, no, I'm not talking about the character in the movie. I'm talking about the real guy. He did pretty much everything they show in this movie. The squaw that he married, her name was just like it is in the film. And but she was actually pregnant when he left. And he didn't go to do something with the military. He went trapping. And he had to go downriver. And what ended up happening, and I sent this video to you guys because I thought this was important if you guys took the time to watch it. It was a really good breakdown of what really happened because he never went across an Indian burial ground. In fact, if you look up the history of Indian burial grounds, people crossed them all the time. There was no problem with that. It was not a Crow burial ground that led to what happened. What led to what happened was there was no animosity towards Johnson. There wasn't. This was a Crow party that was going out to gather things, which included slaves. And what they believe happened was that when they got there to the cabin, she was most likely outside and was not aware of them because she's busy looking downstream, expecting him to be coming upstream and wasn't paying attention to what was going on upstream. This is what historians believe. And she was out there waiting for him because he was a little late getting back. And she was probably getting antsy that he wasn't back on time. And so all her focus was there. And when the Crow saw that she was pregnant, saw that she was not going to be going back with them. And so they had to kill her to go through his house and look for anything that they could steal and take back to their tribe. And so they tomahawked her in the back of the neck, right below the skull, and killed her instantly. And later, when he showed back up, she was already picked clean by birds and other animals. And she was skeletal by the time he got back. And he found the skeleton of a small child. Well, it wasn't the little boy like they have in the movie. It was the body of his dead baby that he found picked clean as well. And it was a gory sight, but not what happened in the movie, even though the movie is great. And he knew who did it, and he went and he started killing these guys. And he went to war with the Crow. And if you read the book, Crow Killer, I sent a copy of that to you, Anima. I hope you got it.
Oh, when and where?
Through Facebook Messenger. I sent you the PDF. Look back. You'll see it's there for you to download and read. Somebody scanned the entire book, and I think it's great.
Okay,
And this scene is in the book when he finds them, and it's rough. It's rough. An issue with people walking on top of graves. Oh fuck no, you don't do that. And that's a West. That's us. That's a very Anglo thing, man. You don't walk over graves.
No,
I was taught as a child to look where the headstone was and where it was facing, and that's where the body is. Don't walk over that. Even though you do step up there right at the head, you know you're not actually walking over the body when you plant flowers or other items on the headstone. But you don't just go walking over it. You walk to the backside of the headstone, and you stay within a couple feet of that headstone, so you know you're not walking over the next grave. And all my family is buried in the Charleston, Illinois cemetery, like all in one small area.
Over here, graves are framed. Like you have the headstone, and then you have a very tiny stone wall going all around it.
I like that. I like that. So you know, don't fucking walk over it. And I know that's still in Europe too, that you don't walk over the graves, you walk around them.
Well, like I said, you wouldn't be able to because they're very obviously.
Well, I like that. That makes it even more
stuff.
obvious. Like, don't tread here. There's a dead body to respect. Yeah, exactly, Gambit. Exactly. What's this hashtag South Americans? They'll walk over any grave. Is that what you're saying there?
No, he's going to this, but that is not entirely correct, not entirely incorrect, because Argentina was it was a beachhead for them into America.
Yeah.
If had they won the war, they would have started spreading from there. That was their plan, not Argentina's plan. That was their plan.
I had this story I wrote. Tom Waltz was going to write the script based off of the story. My story, and if you ever want to read it, Martin, I'll send it to you. I have the actual story with a little bit of artwork for Indiana Jones and the Eye of the Pyramid. And in that story, the Germans have infiltrated South America, going into Mexico, and they have constructed a false pyramid over the top of an actual location of another, an actual archaeological find. And Jones is sent down there to spy on them, to find out what they're doing in Mexico. And it ends up to, like, if you know anything about the old Mexican rail, which current Mexican rail is terrible. And it was even worse back then. And they end up in a huge fight on a train. He ends up catching a ride with a clipper pilot up a river, and they find this pyramid, and it's actually a German fortress built around an archaeological find. It's not a real pyramid. I mean, it's shaped like a pyramid, but it actually opens up and it launches what will be called the V2 rocket to America. and their plan was to set up an assault to attack the United States there in the Yucatan. And they could hit parts of America from there. Because you know your geography. I wrote that entire story out. I used real history. I used the history of Smith back when he spied for the United States on Germany in the First World War. He was down there surveying the coastal areas of Central and South America. But what he was really looking for, German U-boat stations. That's what he was really looking for. Not Smith, Carter. I'm sorry, Carter. So yeah, I've not said hi to everybody yet. I've been getting into this history shit. Let's see. Who's here?
What?
We've got what? I heard Martin go, but
my computer is giving me surprises today.
okay. Snorty, Emmanuel, Gambit, Andy Morrow, 11 Alpha, and Penny. Good morning, everybody.
Good to see one and all.
And somebody made a joke when I was on Loki about Jeremiah was a bullfrog. That made me laugh.
It's my favorite Paul Newman, or excuse me, Robert Redford movie. It's my favorite one.
I was telling him what we're going to be doing over the weekend and come Monday. And I said, you'll be doing Jeremiah Johnson. And there was a good joke about Jeremiah was a bullfrog. He was a good friend of mine.
Never understood a single word he said.
Never understood a single word he said, but he helped me drink my wine.
That's it.
I'm assuming you're talking about a song.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the song. Yeah.
Joy to the World.
Joy to the World. I think that's Three Dog Night. Yeah,
it's Three Dog Night.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember when this is how old I am. I remember when the song came out.
I do too. Yep.
And when I was in elementary school, when you go into chorus class, because they had that in public school, and that was one of the songs we would sing. Get the kids clapping and singing. He is a terrible fisherman, according to the Crow in this movie. Now,
well, he keeps losing that fish and falling over in the river until he's soaking wet, and then he fails to light a fire. So yeah,
terrible. This guy is a warrior trying to take on a new life, because this is what really this story is about: is somebody suffering from PTSD, trying to get away from the world. And one of the other reasons why he wanted to get the fuck away from the world was because he grew up in an abusive home, and just very dark man. He was prone to violence in real life, and he was not kind to women that were with him. And it wasn't something he wanted. He was nice. He was just like my grandfather, the nicest guy in the world. Now, unlike my grandfather would have given you the shirt off his back. He was that way, but he had a reputation. I actually ended up taking care of an old man in a nursing home when I was a nurse, and he saw my name tag. He said, "Cusel, any relation to Everett?" And I'm like, "Yes, sir. Pierce Everett was my grandfather." And he said, "Oh man, your grandfather, hell of a man, best fisherman hunter I ever met in my life. But boy, you didn't want to be around him when he drank. He might kill you." I'm like, "Yeah, that's my grandpa." And he accidentally shot my aunt with a .22. He was trying to murder her husband, my Uncle Harold, and she jumped in the way and took the bullet. And I'm telling you, man, that's what got him to stop drinking, that incident. And but he became what's called a dry alcoholic. He still had some of the same behaviors and that go with alcoholics who don't get proper treatment for it. So, but there are two books. What's that?
Before you go any further, I like to acknowledge that we have Janet from another planet here.
Janet.
Hi, Janet.
Hi, Janet.
Long
Good
time
to
no
see
see.
you. Yeah.
If you're not watching
Okay.
the shit show on Friday nights, you should. It's fun.
So I got to talk about just how much of a badass this guy was. He really was a badass in real life. But I'm assuming he had been in the merchant navy. He had been in the army. He had been in a lot of combat, a lot of hand-to-hand combat. This guy was really good at killing people. And people have written, and I've seen this, it's even on the Wikipedia page, talking about, he had trouble in the military and it may have been dishonorably. And I'm like, no, he may have gone AWOL. No, that's not what happened. He did his time, served in the Mexican American War, and left. And I'm assuming he got out and just left from his service. And that's why there's this great line in there when he sees these army guys. He says, "We still at war?" He's like, "What? How's the war going?" That's the question he asked.
Yeah.
Who
War?
won?
Yeah, with Mexico. It's over. And he goes, "Who won?" Great moment in the movie. That scene never took place, but he did do scouting. He was a scout, and military units would come up through there, and he would absolutely do work for them. And then he'd go back to his life, trapping, hunting. And this guy did everything. He built cabins for people. Anything he could do laborious to make money, the real Johnson did. He was a man of what do they call that? A man of all trades, but an expert at none.
Jack of all
Master of-
trades.
Jack of
Master
all
none.
trades.
Yep.
That was Johnson. This guy could do anything, and he did. He was very good at building cabins. And I'm going to pause it because I want to start showing some of these things because these are real places. This is a real man, and he was very heroic, and like I said, very dangerous.
Yeah.
And they have a monument dedicated to this guy. That's how amazing this guy is. In fact, a bunch of school kids and their teacher, because he was buried in California. He had lived in his last days in California at a veterans home. So once again, I want to point out, after all of the shit that happens in this movie, he served in the army again, fighting in the Civil War. He fought for 1 year, and then he was discharged from the army at the end of the war in 1965 and went back to doing what he did before, trapping, building, and scouting and all that shit. And here we go. There's a monument. These little kids, like elementary school kids and their teacher fought to get his body taken from California and moved to where is it? I just forgot where it's at. It's in Montana, Wyoming.
You know what?
Wyoming. It's Cody, Wyoming, where his body now resides under that fucking statue, that bronze statue you see there.
Wow.
It's a monument to him, and
That's
it's
cool.
wonderful. And the people in Red Lodge, Montana, had his cabin moved to the Office of Tourism, and they this is the actual cabin he built in and around 18 right after the Civil War, and he became a lawman. He was a deputy, and then he became a marshal. And like I said, he was a guy that just did not fuck around. Hey, see you. Who's saying bye? Oh, you got to go, Joe.
Yes, I do. I didn't
See
want to
you, buddy.
interrupt you. You be good. We'll see you next
You
time,
too,
guys.
buddy.
See you guys.
I hope you come back so you
Bye.
can join us.
I hope
All right,
I
bye.
hope I can get back, but that's up to Mom. If she wants to eat, then I've got to take her. So
Yeah,
see you guys.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
So there's the cabin that he built, and they actually took it apart and brought it to this location there at the tourist center.
Okay,
And
let me tell you this. This cabin is better done than the one in the movie. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
that's the first cabin he ever built in the movie, and it's pretty much a true story in that part that was the first cabin he ever built, the one that they lived in, and he based it off of other cabins he'd seen. And when you see him building it, he's not really good at the hatchet work, really not, but very smart in how he put it together. Yeah, it's a one-room cabin. It's not fancy. And I also like that they have a stone there outside of it. And you can't read what's on it, but that's a neat plaque they put there telling the story of Liver Eaton Johnson. And why he got that name was because, and there's which part of this is folklore and which part of this is true is hard to say. But he would kill these guys. He went out there and hunted these motherfuckers. And one by one would kill these crows. And if they weren't just one, it was a group of them, he'd attack them. And that guy right there, you'll see him at the end of the movie too. He's the leader of this crow tribe. And at the end of the movie is one of the most somber moments. Is they see each other at a distance, and Johnson's about to grab his rifle, and instead of wanting to fight, the chief lifts his hand up and showing the open hand, no weapon. And it was a sign of peaceful intent.
Well, in the movie, they make it a rite of passage for young male Indians to go.
Well, that's also
him
another thing, because that's actually based on reality. There are because they don't really know everything, but they do know the stories, the traditions that were handed down by the Crow, and not just the Crow, but the Flathead too. They talked about Johnson and what a fucking monster of a man he was, because he was a giant, by the way. He was a giant man. Robert Redford does not convey just how big this guy was. He's like my size.
He's very convincing though when he goes into rage mode and starts killing them.
Yeah. This is a cool scene because he finds this man clearly frozen to death, and he has a letter written on him in cloth stuck to his body, and he has to peel it off of him and reads it, and he says, of sound mind and broken legs.
Yeah.
He broke his legs. And when you find out the story about this guy, he lived in a cave with a female fucking cougar. That apparently
Panther.
Was it Panther?
Yeah.
They're the same family. And so goes on about how ill-tempered she was, because she never really quite got used to him living in the same cave with her. I'm like, that's a fucking movie right there. Just this guy's story. Crazy fucking story.
But his last will is crazy.
Yeah.
I hope a white man finds my rifle. That was like,
Because he didn't want the Crow or the other one of the tribes to find him and use the weapon to kill white men.
Lord Hope would be a white man.
Now,
and this film was, by the way, an inspiration for a TV series that was a hit in the 70s that I watched. I don't know if any of you ever watched this show called Grizzly Adams.
Nope.
No.
Have you heard of it?
Nope.
No.
Look it up. This is a hit series that was inspired by this movie.
What we had in Venezuela was we saw Daniel Boone.
Well, Daniel Boone's a real person.
No, I know.
Grizzly Adams wasn't. Grizzly is loosely based on Jeremiah Johnson. And he was a much nicer guy, played by a real outdoorsman that really had a bear, a grizzly bear, as a companion, friend, whatever you want to fucking call it. And,
yeah, definitely not a pet. That is your companion.
And in real life, he, had to work with these bears. And he had a Gentle Ben. It was the same bear that played in the movie Gentle Ben. And it was just, I still wouldn't trust him because Grizzly, it just rubbed him the fucking wrong way. But it was raised by humans and raised like a baby, and grew up, was in movies, and that inspired other bear trainers to do the same thing. And it's like the bear that was in the movie with Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin in The Edge. Very well trained bear. And sadly, the first one died of old age, and then the one that was in The Edge, I think, got sick and died, like with cancer or some shit, as I recall. But anyway, he meets this crazy motherfucker here called Bear Claw, played by
he is such a fun character.
Communist and homosexual Will Gear. So when he talks about not having much room for women in his life, I'm like going, it's a little bit of real life kind of squeezed in there, right, Will?
Wait. Alpha has lived with a cougar too.
Drink a lot of wine. Any relation to Jeremiah the bullfrog? So, and you've got some really good stuff. Alan Ann McCleary plays Crazy Woman. We never find out her name. Her entire family is slaughtered and her husband has disappeared. And
not the entire family, always survived.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say, but thank you. Thank you.
Well, you say her entire family, and it's not true.
Her entire family was slaughtered. Then I go, and I got the word accept. I got out, and you're just jumping in there. But I'm glad you did, because I like it when you talk. I like the way you talk.
Now, before we get to
hey, that's a movie reference. Don't you fucking walk away from that.
I don't know. I don't care.
Sling Blade, motherfucker.
I don't care.
Oscar winner.
They were. I like how every lonely guy that lives in this vast area of terrain, they know each other. Because when you see the other guy say, "Hey, is that the rifle from so and so?" They say, "Oh, cool. How did you get it?" Well, he was dead. Okay, they were so simplistic, not in a bad way. They just were, and they knew each other, and they couldn't see each other for months, even years, and they seen each other at the distance and say, "Oh, that's so and so."
Well, that's just it, because they actually did have more run-ins with each other, but there would be long periods of time where they were just isolated. These men liked their own company and preferred to be in their own company and not being around a bunch of other people. And this is another sign of symptoms from PTSD, is that self-isolation thing. And that's really what's going on with him. And it's not just from the war. He also had PTSD from his childhood of being beat by his father. And what's sad is that curse often gets passed on. And he was like that when he drank, very abusive. And he had already been married and left a woman by the time this story takes place. And I paused here for a reason. This is when fucking Bear Claw comes running back towards camp, laughing and yelling, just cackling like a madman with a fucking brown bear on his ass, chasing him.
Awesome. That scene was awesome.
This is so perfect because he looks up and he's like, "What the hell am I seeing here?"
Well, you need a setup for this. Bear Claw asked him, "Can you skin grizzly?" And he said, "I can skin everything."
I can skin anything. You kill it, I'll skin it. And so he yells at him as he runs past the cabin. The bear's still going right towards Redford's character, Jeremiah. And he says, good luck skinning him, Pilgrim.
But he runs through the cabin. You see him bust out at the other end, the grizzly's inside.
The
He used the cabin as a trap.
It's a trap.
Yeah.
I fucking love this scene. I remember as a kid seeing this in a theater and just losing my mind laughing. And my dad was laughing too. This is one of my dad's favorite movies. And he had one complaint, one nitpick. My dad's a nitpicker at movies. Oh my God. High Plains Drifter. And what was that other movie where he travels with American Indians? Clint Eastwood's character.
I don't know.
Josie Wales. Oh my God, he nitpicked the shit out of that movie. But this one, he had one nitpick, and that was when he's making his cabin, he uses the sole from, I'm not sure because it's upside down. It could be the other foot, but it was cut for either a left foot or a right foot. And they did not have that at this time here, especially there where they're at. They had shoes that were designed straight. They weren't made for left and right feet. So that was a mistake. And Anna is correct that as you wear them, they tend to form around the foot, but that shoe is clearly cut for a left or right foot when he puts it on there, the sole from the shoe. Uses that as a strap for the door instead of hinges. But this is just a great fucking moment. Comedic and character development. There it goes, going into that fucking...
God
and it goes in and the camera slides and you see him come out the other side of that cabin.
Berklow gets out a window.
Yeah.
And leaves Jeremiah with the bear in the car.
Good luck skinning him.
Good luck skinning him.
He keeps calling him Pilgrim too. It's so funny.
Pilgrim. He said Pilgrim in this movie more times than John Wayne ever did. I think John Wayne only used it once or twice in one movie, and I think he was referring to a certain character. Yeah. By the way, Alpha, do you got any pictures of that cabin you built? Oh, Lincoln Logs. Fuck you, dude. We all did that. I had Lincoln Logs as a kid. I built forts with mine. They came in a giant oatmeal container, the tube, Lincoln Log cabin, Lincoln Logs. That was fun shit to build. What did you have on 8-track? I'm just going back to this.
What?
You must be talking about the song from Three Dog Night.
Yes.
Oh, there he goes. Always trust the bear.
That's a little servicing, Snorty.
Yeah, I watched a nice little documentary on polar bears that are rogues. They spend more time in the water than they do on land swimming, from ice island to ice island looking for seal. And this one was so fucking starved that he just started walking amongst giant walrus and started a fight with one and eventually dragged it into the water and drowned it and ate it. He was starving that bad. That's what I was remembering. I kind of remembered that, Snort. I kept thinking, I think it was Jimmy Stewart's character that he called Pilgrim.
Oh my.
Which led to a joke I did back in the 70s. I won the local gong show doing impressions. And I did Jimmy Stewart teaching a karate class. And back then I could do a good Jimmy Stewart, but it was more or less my industrial arts teacher, Mr. Cuny, because he talked the same way. He had a horrible stammer. And I did this whole thing about how to chamber a kick and how to throw a side kick. And then he says, "Do you think you could do that, John?" And then I did John Wayne going, well, I know I can do it, but I don't know about the horsey. And got a good laugh. People knew who John Wayne was, and the joke was that he was teaching karate to John Wayne, and John Wayne said, I can do the kick, but I don't know about the horse. Walrus, num, 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 num. Oh, this is a huge lesson. And what did I say? I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid. I was a little kid when I saw this movie. And when he put that fucking rifle up over top of the shoulders, the first thing I said is, I sure hope that horse was trained for that, because if he doesn't, he's going to have a problem in a second. And it's exactly what happens. That horse wasn't trained for rifle. And fucking reacted the way a horse would fucking react the first time you fire a rifle right next to his fucking head. Knock the shit out of him. You got him, Pilgrim. This horse goes running off. Ah, man, I love watching the growth of this character, of him learning to become an outdoorsman. And he's explaining to him that if you walk along with your horse, the elk won't react. And he says, won't he see my legs? And he says, damn elk don't know how many legs a horse has. No.
Well, the reason you walk behind the horse is the wind is coming from the wrong direction, and if you walk behind the horse, the wind is only carrying the horse's scent, or it's at least overpowering yours.
Well, it's also about creating a silhouette, because the elk, the minute you step around that horse, the elk will see you. They will see a shape that is clearly not horse, and it'll just fucking make them run. And I got to tell you, as much as I dislike this man in real life, God, he was a good actor. Will Geer. So the two books, this is another thing I wanted to get into. This is a John Milius film directed by Sidney Pollack. John Milius wrote a bulk of this fucking script. But if you go to IMDb, they show Vardis Fisher, Raymond Thorpe, and Robert Bunker as the writers of this. And no, it's John Milius who wrote the screenplay. And you don't find that until you click to the next window. But when you look, director, Sidney Pollack, writers, Vardis Fisher, Raymond Thorpe, and Robert Bunker. I'm not saying that IMDb is run by a bunch of lefties. I'm also not saying that, because I believe that there's a lot of hatred towards John Milius because of his politics.
Not only him, I have noticed that they have changed the order of cast to prop somebody that doesn't have a relevant doesn't do a relevant work in the story, and other character and other actors are pushed back. Even though even they do not appear in the summary. You have to go to full cast.
You got to go to the full thing.
The main character.
Yep. They do it on IMDb. This is IMDb became a political animal in the 2000s. And I warned people that this was going to happen when they took down the bulletin board on IMDb, because you could go into that board for each movie and have arguments. And I got into many fights there. And in fact, the first time I said, because there was a whole argument I got into over Star Trek. And I took a snapshot of it and put it on MySpace. This back in the 2000s. I took a snapshot and put it up on MySpace. I said, this is why Gene Roddenberry's utopia will never happen, because you can't even get people to agree on what Gene Roddenberry meant on certain things. And it bloody fights over it. I mean, brutal. And IMDb took the board down. And I remember the day it happened, when they switched over to the new format on IMDb and took away the boards. and people started calling IMDb a bunch of cowards, that they're afraid of these fights that people have. And I believe that if you're more conservative, you think like the Monarch doctor in Godzilla 2014 when he says, "Let them fight."
Hey, Tom Baker's back.
Yeah, Tom Baker. Hi, buddy. Hope you're doing well. What was this thing? Yes, absolutely true, man. Hollywood despises it. And what's worse than that? I consider John Milius one of the most betrayed modern directors by his friends, which include Francis Ford Coppola, Brian De Palma, George Lucas, and Steven Spielberg. Because any one of them could have helped him when he started getting blacklisted for his politics. Not one of them. They'd all call him up. How you doing? Yeah. I consider Spielberg just a shitheel. He had the greatest ability of any of those guys to help Milius and didn't fucking do one thing to help him out.
I'm gonna go with a really, really hot take. I may earn the wrath of some people with it, but before that, remember, I'm the father of 4, so here's my point about Milius and the other director. You value your job more than your principles. You're a coward. And all those directors that said, "Oh, you're my friend," backstage, but never did anything to help him because of their careers, they're fucking cowards.
Yep. And I just said that about Spielberg. I consider him a coward, and I consider him a fair-weathered friend. And I tell people about this. I said, you won't see that too much in the military. Alpha, you may be able to say this, but I'm talking more about in the lower ranks, the camaraderie you have. You will never find in civilian life the kind of friendships that you find in the military, because the guy literally is like, I've got your back. And you just don't find that kind of friendship very often in civilian life, which is why I spent a lot of time without friends. And most of my friends, my closest friends, are all military veterans. My 2 closest friends here, military vets. My 2 best friends from childhood, military veterans. In fact, I went into the military the same time they were in, and we all served at the same time. They went in smarter than me, and they got higher ranks. Not me. I went in at 26. But anyway, I pause it again here for a reason, because I want to talk about the Crow real quick. This is the first meeting with the Crow, and he learned so much about them from Bearclaw. He explains things to Johnson about the Crow, that, always make sure you've got something to trade of worth, with these guys, because that's all they really care about. And this is something I've tried to explain to people. American Indians aren't mythical beings, one with the land. They were doing the exact same shit Europeans were doing when we came here. We just did it better. They were constantly at war with each other. And stop acting like that's not true. It is true. But something you learn in this film that Anima wasn't aware of is scalping, where it came from. American Indians didn't have that practice until they met the French. They say the English in this, but they're not the ones that taught them how to scalp. The scalping was sold to the English because they loved to collect it and go back to England and decorate their wall with these scalps. Because, anytime you want to think of the English, remember that. They bought a lot of scalps. And this was a trade for some of these tribes to collect these things. And they didn't care if they were from whites. In fact, that was even, more cool if it was from whites, not just other tribes. And that's talked about in this film, but they didn't explain where it came from. but you get a hint of it when they go meet the Flatheads. The Flatheads have a lot of French speakers in it. Animal was unaware of that, and I'm like, yeah. But then she went, oh yeah, and then she remembered as we were getting into it about so many tribes to this day still speak, especially down in Louisiana, speak French, as well as the northern tribes going from northern part of the United States into Canada speak French. It's because of so many French settling here. And they had the French Indian War. People forget that was a war. And so you get a lot of tribes versus other tribes. And the French are the ones who started the practice of scalping of the enemy. And there you go. Little history lesson for you guys. I'm sure Alpha already knew that shit. And this is, by the way, Tom, this is just a great movie. And like I said, my dad had one nitpick with that, and that was the sole of the guy's shoe using it as a hinge on a door. Not that he used it as a hinge, because yeah, they would do. And if you had leather, you used it, you know. And but that it was a left or right-footed shoe, and they didn't have that at that time here in America. Yeah, go ahead, lay it out there, buddy. Lay down some of that knowledge, brother. I love it when Alpha gets into history. So once again, it was Milius, along with a military officer, who came up with the idea of making that war between him and the Crow to be over walking through the what do you call it? Their cemetery.
Burial.
Yeah,
And
burial.
we have a new viewer. Welcome, Trapzilla.
Trapzilla, what's up? I like your last name. But I worry your first name's just a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. I also like moments where he just stops. Him and his horse just stop when shit happens. And it's about to happen here when he sees that cabin and that woman. And she's just, I told you not to go outside without your bonnet on. And all her children are scalped.
Poor woman.
They show it, but they don't say it. You just see the blood on their heads, and that's because they've had their scalp cut off. Just a strip. And by the way, it was, you know, the reason why is to show who you killed by the color of the hair. And that's why there's a great joke within this movie with one of the, I would not call him a main character, but he's a major character, is Del Gu, played by Stefan Giersch, a great fucking actor. And he finds him buried up to his chin in sand. And he says, why are you bald? He says, well, I figured if I cut all my hair off, they couldn't scalp me. They wouldn't want it because hair was important.
Yeah, and when they meet in the end, he has hair again because he decided, when I die, I want something left of me. Might as well decorate some Londoners' wall.
Yeah, Londoners flat. Yeah, there you go. John Milius, that mindset. And he's a dirty guy, though, because he takes those scalps that he's got when he sees the flatheads coming towards him. He didn't know they were flatheads. He just saw Indians coming towards him. And he takes the scalps he's got and puts them over on Johnson's horse.
Yeah.
Dirty. But they treat him like a major person. Like they treat him like royalty because of the scalps. And that was his screw up, you know, because that could have been him. But there she is. She plays his character just fucking tough. And she's gone nuts. She's touched in the head, which is why he says the Crow will not bother you again because they think you're touched in the head. And they don't want anything to do with that because they're afraid that it'll spread to them. Howard Hawks was the same. He was a military pilot in World War I. And John Ford's the same way. Baker. Absolutely. These were guys who were warriors that came back to make films. And Milius was not a warrior, not a veteran. He volunteered for Vietnam. They wouldn't take him. He's 4F. And military people know what that means. He was medically 4F, and they wouldn't take him, and it broke his heart because he always had this dream of I've always said that I believe that Lieutenant Dan was sort of based on John Milius, because he actually said, I always saw myself as an officer leading men into combat and dying, leading them. That was just this image in his head. And I'm like, wow, that sounds like Lieutenant Dan. There's a movie we should do. We really should do it. My boss worked on that movie. And I do. I have a fondness for that film. I don't think it's as great as people act like it is, but I did like that movie. It's cutting edge.
But it has the most evil villain ever.
Oh God, I like this one. It's a tarp.
got a sense of humor. He will be fine here. They will be fine.
Buried coals under their bed. Yeah, that was funny as shit. He is. And what's mean about Will Geer's character is he knew that it wasn't deep enough and he didn't warn him. It's better for him to find out on his own why you bury those coals deeper. Yeah, you take the cinders while they're still hot, you bury them under the dirt where you're going to sleep, and it helps keep you warm at night.
-3. Oh.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that old saying that my dad used to say when we go outside. He wanted to comment on how cold it was. His two favorites was colder than a witch's tit, or it's colder than a well digger's ass in January. There it is. There's the shoe. And that's the one that set my dad off. And by the way, nobody ever seems to notice when they meet him. He's wearing cavalry pants.
Yes. I don't remember if it was Berklo or if it was.
I think it was Berklo who noticed it.
Yeah. But only once in the movie it happened.
Well, he's been wearing them for a long time. They're bleached, so
they're bleached. They're sun bleached. They're specifically sun bleached. But the fact is a lot of the time they take borax with them, a little bar of borax, and they would wash in fresh streams, and rubbing the pants or shirts and stuff on the rock with the borax, and then rinsing it until the borax is out, because borax is corrosive. And it would also help in that bleaching process. There's the kid, Caleb.
Well, that and they dry their clothes in the sun. That would bleach everything.
Caleb's one of my favorite characters in the film, even though I don't think he's based on anybody real. But the character was created to explain the dead child in the cabin scene. It's really the only reason why he was created. But I think that Milius did an amazing job of creating his character. But in reality, as I said, for those of you that weren't here, that when he got back to his cabin in real life, he did find her dead, Swan, and she had been slaughtered by the crow. But the reason she was slaughtered was because she had no value. And they chopped her in the back of the neck with the tomahawk. And boy, oh boy, it was a brutal death. So he takes his kid with him, which I think is great structurally for a story. Great thing for him to do.
She tells him to take the kid, and by looking at her, he knows that she's finishing it. She doesn't want to live anymore. but she needs
Nope.
the kid taken care of.
She's going to stay there, probably not eat, and weep for her family, and just slowly die. And I love these shots of the desert. And of course, this leads to the scene where he meets Dale and buried up to his chin. Absolutely. What really shocked me is that Coppola didn't bring him in to work on Patton. Francis Coppola wrote that by himself. Whereas I thought he should have brought Milius in, because Milius knows his fucking military far more than Coppola would. But still, Coppola did a fucking great job with Patton. Yeah, he gets a feather up his nose. That's funnier shit. And I don't know what that is. I think he's killed a bird with his teeth.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that.
Like Conan did in
Yes.
Conan the Barbarian, again, written by John Milius.
Are you okay, Anima?
Yeah.
You mentioned Conan, and that is her version of Arnold.
One of my favorite things, and Anima knows this, I love it when she does a Simi Arnold impression and says things that
That
Arnold
line.
would say.
I love that line. Are you okay? Sure. I have a fire horse under me.
Underneath me. Yeah, he's such a smart ass. He's gonna die there. And fuck yeah, he's making jokes. I love people like that, man. I love people with, gallows humor.
Well, if you're gonna go laughing.
And by the way, Alpha, I thought you were going to say something about the 7-Year War. I was kind of hoping you would. You still here? If I missed anybody? No, I got everybody. And of course, our buddy Tom Baker's here. Hey, Anima, would he be the better or lesser Tom Baker?
What?
What?
I would settle with our Tom Baker.
Our Tom Baker. Because there's another Tom Baker who played Doctor Who. And he was my Tom Baker.
How would I know that?
This would be our Tom Baker, because I've shown it to you. He was one of the best Doctor Who's ever.
Yeah, I've seen like 3 episodes of Doctor Who 2 years ago. I know shit about Doctor Who.
God damn, you killed me.
That poor kid doesn't want them to go get his rifle and horseback because they're Indians and the kid is terrified of Indians now.
Oh, Snort. Yeah, there you go. A lot of people see that, and that's why it was called the 7 Years' War. Not much to say. It was, in many respects, the real First World War. Yeah, fighting in the United States, or what would become the United States. At the time, we were just the colonies. Man has to know his limitations. There you go. That's what Dirty Harry is saying in Magnum Force. Was also a New York theater actor that was best friends with Jim Morrison. Didn't know that. Yeah, this scene pisses Johnson off. He says, we'll wait till they go to sleep and steal back your stuff. But nope. Dale goes in there for fucking blood for what they did to him.
He doesn't want beef with them. He says, I get it, you want your things back, but we are not pissing them off. We're just sneaking in, stealing them back.
Yeah, I got to tell you, man, these guys were hard men. You're talking areas where humans typically couldn't survive, and these guys fucking thrived out there. They're a different kind of person, and the real Jeremiah Johnson, he was something else, man. His real name was John Johnston, but he was born John Jeremiah Garrison Johnston. So really, his first middle name was Jeremiah. It's true, and I actually have a picture of him. Did I upload it? No, let me put it up here. Image file. This is the real McCoy right here, my friend. That's him. And you can actually check this monument out to him. That's supposed to be him with his bearskin hat with something, a fur trailing off in the wind, him on his pony. And that's the last cabin he ever built. That was one he built while he was marshal. And he did everything, man. This guy was a soldier, an adventurer, a trapper, a fisherman. He was a builder, a trainer. He trained people how to survive up there, how to do all these things. He did whatever was necessary to survive. And of course, his nickname was Liver Eating Johnson, even though we don't know if he ever actually did, but that was the legend handed down. And so I believe he did, at least on one occasion, because according to the Crow, you cannot travel into the afterlife if your liver is eaten. And he would cut out their livers. And I don't know if he ate them raw. I'm assuming he cooked them, for God's sakes. There he is. This guy is the one who speaks French. And it kind of throws him at first. And
Welcome back, Joe.
Yeah, he's Richard Angarola is the actor. His name is Chief Two Tongues LeBeau. And he speaks fluent French, American French. Like if a Frenchman watches, they could probably understand him. But I love it. There are French that go and listen to Cajuns and or Creoles speak French. And they can kind of understand them, but the dialect is so weird that sometimes they'll say things that they don't know, or they'll use old world French. That really throws them. That French
Creole's really hard to understand. Yeah.
But this was normal French. Mm-hmm. I understood most of it, and I only have French.
That's because he served. His character probably served with the French when he was young. The faba bean and a fine Chianti. There you go. There you go. That's right. He was, the character Hannibal Lecter was inspired by Jeremiah Johnson.
Right.
So it's not like they gave him a fictitious name. He really was Jeremiah Johnson, technically Johnston, but he was known later as Johnson. He took the T out of his name. Yeah, the French fur trade, man. Yeah, and I got to tell you, I love the one with Clark Gable. I have never watched the modern one, and I really need to. Never seen it with the Irishman actor. That's won Oscar after Oscar. I don't know why. I've just never watched that movie. So
which one? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention there for a second. Which movie?
I was talking about Last of the Mohicans. That I've seen the original one with Clark Gable. I've never seen the modern film with the
Oh, the Michael Mann movie is so beautiful. That's one of those
I know.
movies.
I've heard it. I had the soundtrack.
Oh, the soundtrack is so good, isn't it, Gary? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It is
But
awesome.
I've never watched the movie. Not a
You need
minute
to
of
sit
it.
down and watch it, buddy. You would love it. Yes.
Daniel
And that's
Day-Lewis,
one you could
thank
do
you
for
for it.
Military Monday too.
This is the thing I love about the modern world. Even polar bears have the internet. So this is Swan, and Swan is played wonderfully by Della Bolton. She has only been in two things her whole life. She worked on the stage, and they had auditioned like 1,000 American Indian actresses for this role, and she's the one who won the part. And they wanted somebody who was American Indian, and there's nothing on her bio that says she is. But the fact is they made a point to point out that they had auditioned like 1,000 American Indian actresses for this part, and she's the one who got it. So by inference, she's clearly at least part American Indian. I don't know what. It's nothing on her biography about it. I can't find anything about her really, past that she's sadly dead. But she was in two things. She was in this and an episode of Monk. That's it.
Wow.
She's a beautiful young woman. She's great in this as Swan. And she, of course, and it's a funny scene because he's just trying to be nice, Jeremiah is.
Yeah, he doesn't want anything.
Yeah, you can have it. You can keep the horses. I don't want, they're in my way. And by doing that, he's given them this great gift. And they're already looking at him like he's like a king or something for these scalps. And now they have to give him a gift worthy of what he gave them. And, Dell's like, you got us killed, boy. They're going to kill us now. Because if they can't give you a better gift than what you gave them, yeah, we're in deep shit. And so what does the chief do? Gives him his daughter. And he has to marry her there. And I thought it's funny when you see the tribe do the ceremony, you see them do the sign of the cross, which is, again, another thing from the Catholic French. But she'll answer to anything you want. And I love the way, Dell's like, well, have a happy honeymoon. Because you're going to have to fuck her tonight. You don't, you're going to be in trouble because they got people sitting outside that TP to make sure you do it. They want to hear some moans.
No pressure.
No pressure.
I mean, in ancient times with the Jewish had called women of the sheets, and their job was to check the bed sheets after their wedding night to make sure there's blood. If there's no blood, there's a problem. We invented the internet. Fuck Al Gore. Yeah, that was what we were talking about a minute ago. Someone else threw it up there too. Snorty did. That's why I made the internet joke.
Yeah.
And Snort, you're on the North Pole. You don't have internet.
Right. Put him in his place, guys. Put him in his place.
What do you mean?
Don't let him get uppity in the chat.
Of course they have internet. Santa invented it.
Igloos have satellite dishes and stuff, don't they?
Yeah, and by the way, do you guys know why they're called flatheads?
Yes, please.
You do?
No. I sorry.
Oh.
I heard you say if we wanted to know.
Oh no, I was asking if you guys knew.
No, I don't know.
Okay,
Nope.
So a lot of the tribes in the area had pointy heads, And I'm not sure why their heads were so pointy. It wasn't anything they were doing to their heads. It was like really weird that was just the shapes of them. And they're grays. For some reason, the flatheads did not. They had round tops to their heads. And that's where they got the nickname. And that's what they got called, the flatheads. Caleb, this kid that played Caleb, man, I don't know what he ever went on to do. I don't recognize him from anything. It's Josh Albee. Fucking, this kid's good in this movie. Every actor did their part in this film. And I love the bond between them.
You have to understand, he has to play the character without saying a single word.
Yep. He never talks.
That's something for an adult, let alone for a kid. So.
And of course, I find that ironic because it's kind of Milius saying that I can't give him any lines because he didn't exist. Because the actual child that died was in her womb when she was killed. And the only reason why he found the skull is her flesh had been picked clean by animals, carrion birds and wolves, coyotes, foxes, whatever lived up there, picked the bones clean. So by the time he got back upriver to the cabin, she'd been picked clean. And he found a child's skull. And he went into a, not figurative, man, he went into a rage over what was done. And they kind of show the way it goes. It's a slow boil. And he runs into them. He goes hunting for them and finds a group of them, and he knows they're the ones who did it. Because it's a party. It's a war party. Who's also out there to find things and steal it. And he fucking kills all but one. Lets him live. And in real life, that happened. He killed all of them. And he left the fat one alive. And I love that scene because when he just accepts the fact that he's about to die, and he goes into his death song and begins singing. Mm-hmm. And Jeremiah leaves him alone. Just fuck it.
Yeah.
For some reason, the singing just shuts the rage off. And I think that's what it was, seeing him do that.
Mm-hmm. And that scene's funny. We're calling himself a great hunter and all that. That's funny.
Yeah. I love that tree. Anima loved that tree too. What a beautiful looking tree. And I think it's a prop. I don't know if that's a real tree, but probably. It is a tree. But that Indian is the one who went back to his tribe and started the legend by telling what he did. Because that's what they did. They carried tradition through, verbal stories. Mm-hmm. And so the story of Jeremiah or Liver Eating Johnson started that way. They left the liver eating out of this movie. But he did this because he knew their tradition was that they could not go into the new life without their liver. They were lost. Wow. And so he would kill them, cut their livers out, and I know he did it, but we don't know if he did it very often. But he definitely did it with these guys. I think that
he probably cut the livers out. I doubt he ate them in real life. He probably just cut them out. Like they did in Vietnam when they made prisoners and killed them and cut their feet off so they couldn't walk into paradise.
I don't know. He was angry enough to do it.
I was fixing to say, man, if it's vengeance, I think he ate them. Vengeance makes people crazy, man. That would not be surprising.
Not just out of hunger. I think he did it out of spite.
Right. I was fixing to say, I don't think it would have been hunger.
This guy was just war-minded.
I didn't say hungry. I said angry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hangry? Hangry?
That's what I was about to say. I just took a gulp and I couldn't do it, and you got it before me. Hangry?
You guys are mean. Making fun of the poor guy that's trying to.
I once gave my daughter a Gibbs slap to the back of the head. But my dad did that to me all the time as a kid. It annoyed the shit out of me. He would do that smack up, go upward.
Yep.
The back of my head.
Get your attention.
Yeah.
I'd rather do that than pummel her backside. I'd rather
Yeah.
do that.
The one that I didn't like that my dad did, that was just annoying. It didn't hurt. It was just annoying. One, it got me, and it would hurt every time I said, because on the sides of your skull, the parietal part of your skull, there's a foramen there, a hole where nerves come out. And there's a nerve plexus right here. And my dad would do this knuckle.
Oh, no.
And he'd rap me on the side of the head. And I said, I don't know how you did it, Dad, but you found that nerve plexus every single time. And it would make my left eye water or my right eye water, whichever side of my head you'd smack.
You know, my favorite scene of a parent figure popping somebody in the back of the head for doing something stupid is in Waterworld, when the little girl's waving at the smoker and he goes, "What are you thinking about?" Pops her in the back of the head.
Yeah, stop it.
What are you
By the way,
about?
this is the famous meme of him nodding.
That's
Great fucking moment in the film, because he has that feeling of this is coming together. And I like that. This is a great moment in the film.
Yep, it is.
Well, that's the way some of those actors were. They'd find favorite directors and or the directors would find favorite actors. And Pollock and he really got along. The Electric Horseman's one of my favorites. We're going to do it. At some point.
I like the one with him and Meryl Streep, Out of Africa. I love that freaking movie. It's probably my favorite love story I've ever watched.
That movie is such a bummer for me.
It is a bummer. I know.
I saw it in a theater, and I got so bummed out. But another great actor is the German actor in that. He was in the remake of Thunderball with Sean Connery. Never Say Never Again. He played the villain.
Yeah.
I love this, by the way. They do show his hatchet work here. Not very good. He's really bad at it. But I think that's on purpose, because this is his first cabin he's ever built. And he's doing this all off of fucking memory of how a cabin is structured. And I love this. I really do love this scene. But the genius is in the using of pulleys in this. And there's no actual pulleys, but he's using leverage to lift these things by throwing rope up over other things to pull the logs into place. Fucking brilliant. Pollock made several, an Electric Horseman, absolutely. I love that movie. Again, I want to say my problem with that movie is his co-star.
Yeah.
She's a piece of shit.
Isn't it Fonda? Isn't that who it is? Yeah.
I don't know any veteran friend of mine who likes her. Yeah. We all hate her for the same reason that she betrayed the United States. What she did is considered treason.
Hanoi Jane.
Aid and comfort. She gave aid and comfort to the enemy. There you go, buddy.
We all know it. Look, he's not bullshitting when he says all veterans feel that way. It's a fact. Yeah.
We don't like Jane Fonda.
Not very cool. Yeah. Now, will I stop watching her movies? No. There's some of them. Cat Ballou, I will never not watch because of the people.
That's because of Lee Marvin.
Yes, exactly. But
who plays two roles in that movie?
Right. He plays.
And I loved his acceptance speech when he gave his acceptance speech for the Oscar. Got the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, and he says half of this Oscar belongs to that damn horse.
That's right.
Because that horse deserved an Oscar.
Oh my God.
They didn't even know. They didn't know if a horse would even do that. Lean against the wall and cross its legs. And they got it to do it.
Just as drunk as he was.
Because they taught the horse to do that moments before shooting it.
Unbelievable. Yep. That's a great movie. Like I said, there's certain ones that with her in it that I will watch, but not because of her. You know.
Yeah, I despise her.
Yeah.
But I will watch the movie in spite of her. And when people want to talk about her, I immediately switch to another channel or stop a video. I don't give a shit what she's got to say about anything.
Right. Yep.
I remember a buddy of mine says, "You ever spank it to the Jane Fonda workout?" I'm
no.
I looked at him and went, "I'm a veteran. What do you think?" No. Adhering-
Which one is Bridget's parent? Is it Peter? Is she Peter's kid? Bridget Fonda?
Yeah, by the way, Peter Fonda is the brother. No,
Right.
Henry Fonda is both their parents.
Yeah.
And the father. And
Mhm.
he's a big lefty. He despised what she did, and they didn't talk for a long time over that shit because he was a veteran.
Yeah. I love Peter. I think he's awesome.
Well, Peter's not a veteran, but Henry is.
Henry is. Yeah. That caused
That's what
a
I'm
rift
talking
with him
about.
for a
Henry
long time. Yeah.
didn't talk to him for a long time, and in fact, they had just finally buried the hatchet and did that movie on Golden Pond.
On Golden Pond, yeah. I love Peter's movies, though. I love Easy Rider. I love Future World, the sequel to Westworld. That one's cool. I dug that one. Yeah.
Outlaw Bill is here.
What's
Happy
up,
birthday,
man?
man.
Happy birthday.
Well,
Yeah,
happy
happy
birthday,
birthday.
young man. Good to see you.
I am at an age right now that if I banged your younger sister, I'd go to jail.
God damn it.
Happy birthday, Bill. Good to see you, my friend. I've also seen Absence of Malice, another good film. Yeah. My problem with Paul Newman and Robert Redford is both of them are veterans, but they hobnobbed with a bunch of fucking socialist commies.
Oh, yeah, they did.
And in fact, like I said, Will Geer, a major character in this movie, fucking card-carrying communist. Not a pinko, not a socialist, a full-bred fucking commie. What I love about this scene here is he shoots one of them and none of them react. It just falls over dead. Which I'm sure they just pulled the buffalo down, because I'm certain they probably didn't harm the actual animal in this film. But when he shoots the buffalo, it falls down. A buffalo just, I don't know what that report is. And a report is the sound of a gun.
Are you sure they didn't use CGI?
We know for a fact they did.
You're very welcome, Bill. You're a welcome friend on this channel. Hoopy birthday, Mr. Bill. Oh no, Mr. Bill.
Oh, Mr. Bill.
Hi, Mr. Bill. Hey, look who's here. It's your best friend, Mr. Sluggo.
Oh no. Oh no.
When I was a kid, no shit, the very first comic book I ever did was in the 4th grade. Was a Mr. Bill story I wrote. Mr. Bill goes to Mr. Hand's cellar, and it's a dungeon. He goes,
You know what
"Hey,
the first
Mr.
comic
Bill,
book drawings I ever
were
did
you
was,
feeling
man?
a little short today?" And he goes, "Hey, Mr. Sluggo, help him get taller." And they put him on the rack and start stretching him. No, I wrote and drew that when I was fucking 10 years old, and drew a comic on school paper, lined.
Right, yeah. I did it when I spent the night over at my buddy Mark's house, and ironically, he's the guy I buy my comic books from now. When I go to the comic book shop, spending the night over his house, the first thing I ever worked on, Gary, was a comic book of Carl Kolchak, the Night Stalker. My favorite panel I drew was him getting thrown through a banister and the wood flying everywhere and stuff. It was cool looking.
Oh, when he goes after the vampire. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the best scenes ever. By the way, this moment, I paused here for a reason, because they fucked the night before. And Caleb doesn't talk, but boy, if he could talk, what he would say. Hi, Dad. Did you try to murder her last night? Because I heard a lot of screaming.
God, Mike.
It's so funny when he asks her what happened to your face, because she's all red and raw, and she tries to tell him, it's your beard.
Yeah,
and he doesn't understand first. And then he comes back from the river and it's all shaved and fucked in the face.
All clean shaved. It's so adorable. This movie is so fucking great in so many levels.
Yeah.
Well, she just stares at him and he goes, "Yeah, don't run away, it's me."
Yeah, I am against the shooting of what I consider higher intelligent animals. I don't like people who eat octopus. Squid, I don't give a shit. They're kind of cute and all that shit, but they're not like octopus.
You shouldn't
Octopus are
eat
aliens.
aliens. I mean,
They are not from this planet. They share no DNA with anything from Earth. All fucking animals share DNA except the octopus.
Wow. Did not know that.
Yeah.
Now I'm scared. I
They're
love the
not from
ocean, but
here.
now I'm scared.
And the way they reason and they build bonds, they have bonds with humans. And you'll see stories. There's a documentary about this guy's relationship with this fucking octopus. A great documentary about this guy that befriended this octopus. And they stayed friends until the octopus died. And they don't live very long, only like 4 years. But I agree with you. Don't shoot elephants. This is a higher animal. They have funerals and they mourn for their whole life.
yeah. Also,
And
the only reason they're getting shot is their teeth. Nothing else gets used.
yeah, their tusks. Yeah.
Dude, did
The
you
the
see
ivory.
11 Alpha's comment
wrong.
about his first comic book?
I was going to get to that. And my
That's
first
cool.
comic book was about a superhero of vegetables who fought crime and taught lessons in nutrition. It was a school project.
That's badass.
And, you know, I'm going to point something out right now, 11 Alpha. I was a geek and a nerd in school. And nerds are
Science
kids that are,
oriented.
science oriented. I was, one of those kids, but I was a geek too, and absolutely was into just some great stuff. But I was a science nerd, and I would have looked at you after you did that, and would have called you a nerd.
I'm just watching the slideshow. This is what does him in. This is what does him in right
This
here.
is when things
And
go
this didn't
wrong.
happen. This didn't happen. This is a fictional thing created by John Milius. But I think that it's functional because little things like this did happen during his life.
Yeah.
But it is not what led to what happens here. This is an absolute work of fiction for him to dramatically explain what happens to Jeremiah Johnson's family. And I think it's wonderful. It's really well written.
Yeah, it's well done, no doubt.
Now, for those of you who ever watched the All in the Family or any of its spin-offs, the gentleman on the horse there was the English neighbor from the show The Jeffersons.
Yeah, he sure was.
And a very funny actor, very big jaw and chin.
Oh my God, the Crimson Chin, sir. Yes,
he's just got that giant chin,
Boom.
and it made him funnier.
Yeah,
it really helped him with the comedy. But in this, he plays a minister, and they're starving members of his parish. We've got to get to them, or they're going to die. And so they throw at him, "Are you just going to let these people starve to death?" Putting all the blame and burden onto Redford's character. And it's like, if I heard somebody say that, going, "Well, you're the ones that are supposed to be helping them,
right?"
Get I don't know these fucking
I don't have
people.
to go with you. Yeah.
My job is to take care of me and my own. But Jeremiah, had that soldier in him. They use that against him. So they get him to do it. And by the way, this character has a daughter in the film too, but I don't recall if we ever see her in the film, played by Tanya Tucker.
Tanya Tucker. Oh my God, that's a name from the past. Wasn't she with Glenn Campbell for a while there? Yeah.
Yeah, she probably touched the dicks of a lot of great singer-songwriters.
Oh my God.
He's got to make it weird, Martin. He's got to make it weird.
Yes, he has to.
That's what I fucking do. That's what I do.
Wouldn't be him if he
I did not get the nickname in high school, Captain Inappropriate, for nothing.
For nothing.
I got kicked out of class so many fucking times for twisting something a teacher said to something fucked up.
If I remember correctly, she was a hottie too.
Oh, Tanya and she was, oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm fixing to take a look here. Let's see.
And this is the last time he'll see them.
Oh yeah, there's that album cover. Good God, yeah.
See them alive, you mean?
Gary,
Yeah.
I know that you once told your sergeant, I guess this is the time I beat my face. The question that I want to ask you is, did you ever said something like that to a teacher? Like I guess this is the part when you take me out of the classroom.
No, yeah, absolutely, Mr. Waddell. I adored that man. I adored him. He was our history teacher, and he fought. He served in the battle for D-Day at Normandy Beach, and he ended up going in country and going to the hedgerows, and just a courageous, tough guy. But he hated my fucking guts, and I always broke my heart because I always wanted him to like me. But I would say things in his class like, and he says, "Does anybody know this is a real thing? It's really happened?" He says, "Anybody know the most significant thing about Adolf Hitler?" And my hand shot up, and he just ignored me, waiting for anybody to raise their hand.
Treating you like Lily Billy.
Because my hand was just like was up, up, and finally he goes, "Mr. Cassell," and I said, one nut." I mean, that he was one nut, but he also had one nut. "I need to leave now." "Yes, you want me to leave?" "Okay."
That's excellent.
And I stood at the door for a few seconds, and he looked back at me again, like, "What are you waiting for?" And I said, "Oh, you're not even going to bother with the slip." And he goes, "No, they know you."
I shared that Tanya Tucker album cover if you want to show them what she looked like.
Oh, yeah, dude, yeah. Can you drop Martin and share it?
Yes.
Because this is an important scene that didn't happen.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to breeze past that, no doubt.
What is it?
Yeah, there she
God,
is.
yeah. Tanya
That's
Tucker, man.
That's an iconic album cover from back then.
She is a country girl, but she looked rock and roll.
Yeah, she did. Woof. Yikes. That's what Glenn Campbell was hanging out with back then. Wow. Okay.
You say things like that and you're not being clear.
I know I'm not.
Yes. She hung out with his penis.
Yeah.
Be clear. That's what was happening.
They should have gone around this burial ground. They should have, and he tried to tell them. But
the thing is, in real life, that wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
The only thing that the tribes were concerned about, because they would go through these graveyards, other tribes would go through them. Mm-hmm. What they asked is, don't mess with the bodies. Don't desecrate them. Mm-hmm. Don't do anything to desecrate them. The ground itself wasn't hollow. Mm-hmm. The bodies were to be left alone. And so that doesn't happen. But there's something in the script that a lot of people don't notice. It's when he's looking at the bones, suddenly something happens. He begins rushing home. And what it is her beads are on that one body. That's her beads. The colorful beads. And he sees that, and he looks at it the first time, and he stops, and he looks back again, and that's when he suddenly begins rushing, and that's what it is. He saw the beads. It was a visual thing that happens that tells him something's wrong. Mm-hmm. And some people don't like that show, and I get it. I don't like the guy who created it. I think he's a fucking dipshit.
It was good until the last seasons. That's when they fucked it up.
Yeah, I blame that on Benioff and Weiss, and I also blame it on Martin, because Martin.
I didn't do it.
Not you, you goon.
Here's what happened. He dragged his feet on purpose to fuck the series because he was kind of angry at how successful it got. They got bigger. They got bigger than him, and he didn't like that. Yep. Absolutely, he's a fucking narcissistic prick. I do not like Martin.
I finally watched it. Not
Southern Nights. Yeah, I love that song, dude.
Southern Nights. Yep. I finally watched it. after it had its run. I didn't watch it when it was first on because I know how HBO is. I knew it was going to be full of boobs and blood, and but so many people pressured me to watch it. So me and Foxy watched it last year for the first time, and yeah, it was good. But I still prefer Lord of the Rings, that kind of fantasy. That's
J.R.R. Tolkien.
Yeah,
well, far better writer than him. He wishes he was as good as them.
Right. It was good though, but
he thinks he is.
Now this is a weird thing here, because I remember the movie stopped and we all got up and went out, just like they did with Sting. But the problem is, this isn't the middle of the movie. This is actually the beginning of the third act.
Third act, yeah. I was going to say,
and it's like really, but that's what this means in French, is between acts. Is what that means. Entr'acte, it's
contract.
Yeah, mid act. Instead of doing what's the middle of the movie, they did it between Act 2 and Act 3.
Yeah.
So this really gets wrapped up very quickly, because he takes them to where they're going, goes through that fucking graveyard, and on his way back, he sees the beads. Yeah. And that's when all hell breaks loose, and it is war.
Yeah.
For pretty much the remainder of the third act.
The thing that he had thought he had gotten away from comes to his front doorstep. And
I mean, he started it, but when they begin coming after him as their like initiation into adulthood or whatever, at least the way Redford plays it, he is tired of it.
Yeah,
he's tired of fighting, and they keep coming at him, and he's just, can't you leave me alone?
My favorite scene in this movie is the last scene.
We'll get to that, because I brought it up earlier. I want to get back into it, but I want to get to this comment here.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you right now, Gambit, I will never enunciate like I understand or speak fluent French, because from what I understand, Steve Martin explained that in order to pronounce words correctly in French, you have to sound like you're choking to death. And I don't want anybody ever trying to do a Heimlich on me.
Right.
Unless I'm actually dying. Oh, there you go.
Omelette du fromage. I
just
ordered a shoe with cheese on it.
There it is in German for you, Anima.
Yeah, Zwischenakt.
Wow.
All I got to say, Gambit, get faster. Alpha beat you.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's a race, but he kicked your ass. No.
Well,
but it's a race.
They do have the same timestamp, so.
Yeah, I know. 12:02.
Just shows up before Gambit.
It's
a long movie. It's going to be
all about microseconds, man. Microseconds count.
But
it counts in everything except sex. Because you don't want microseconds in sex.
No.
Not be liked or wanted.
No. There he goes, hauling ass across the plain.
Because he saw those beads laying on the chest.
Yeah,
that's beautiful country, by the way. They had to get a lot of permission to shoot in these areas. And that's why at the end of the film. Yep. And by the way, again, I want to throw a lot of love out to Teddy Roosevelt, because we would not have those national parks if not for him. He did more to preserve our nature during his presidency than all the presidents before and after combined. Love Teddy Roosevelt, man.
Yep.
He loved this country, and he fought to preserve the land. And that look on his face, God, he goes in there and sees them. And of course, in real life, the gore, like I said, the gore wasn't there anymore. The bones had been picked dry, but the blood had dried into the floor and on the ground around them. And the child was actually his child that she was pregnant with when he left.
Yeah.
Oh, baby is walking now.
Nice. But yeah, it's on and popping from here.
Absolutely. I'm going to pull this down just for a second again to show that's the real Jeremiah Johnson right there.
He looks a lot like the guy he found buried up to his neck, doesn't he?
Yeah. No, the beard. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
That
when he was
mustache.
older and living at the soldiers' home when that photo was taken.
Wow.
He had retired from being a marshal. He did everything, man. This guy had a
Wow.
life.
He was a marshal before it was over with? Good Lord. Wow.
Yeah, and by the
That's
way,
awesome.
when he runs into Dell later and hears the story, when he meets him the first time, I'm sorry, and he says, "Hey, that's so and so's rifle." And he goes, "Yeah, I found him. He was froze to death, 2 broken legs." And he says something about living with a panther with a bad temper. And I'm
Yeah.
like, and I'm like, that's a movie right there, my friend.
Right.
Oh yeah.
We need to see that
Guy-
movie right there.
Guy
Yeah.
lives in a cave with a fucking panther.
Mhm.
Good fucking God. And by the way, I saw that my old alma mater is going to be in some of the playoffs coming up for football. And I was kind of excited about that. Eastern Illinois University. And
Cool.
guess what their name is? The Panthers.
Nice. That's my high school alma mater, Parkway Panthers. What's up?
Yep. And the bar that I got kicked out of and was owned by my dad's friend, Marty Patton, who used to pitch for the Kansas City Royals. They grew up together.
Nice.
And Marty called my dad after I beat the shit out of like 4 guys in this bar. And I got barred from the bar. And he called my dad, tattled on me. He goes, "Did you really do that?" I went, "Yeah, I kicked the shit out of those motherfuckers."
It's been a while since I've seen this. Why did that horse pull up to this door? I don't remember.
He's very well trained.
Yeah.
That's his horse, man.
He
That
was
horse
worried
has-
about him. Ugh.
and
It's
he
basically
gets up,
telling him time to go, buddy.
Yeah, it's time to get going. Yeah.
"We got to get out of here, man."
Mm-hmm.
It's heartbreaking how he puts them to bed and then just burns the whole cabin.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was their house and they're gone, so that's not surprising.
Yeah.
Didn't Sam Elliott do the same thing at the beginning of 1883? That show?
Yeah.
He burned the house down with his wife and daughter in it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they died of typhus.
I thought it was smallpox. That's what they
I
were
thought it
checking
was
everybody
typhus.
for. Okay.
I know that's also what killed Wyatt Earp's first wife.
Really?
It was
Oh, she
common
had all
killer.
kinds of problems, man. Woof. Yikes.
His first wife?
Yeah, his first wife. Remember, she was a drunk, and I mean, she had mental problems.
That was his second woman. They weren't actually legally married.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
She was a hooker. She worked
Okay.
for the brothers were pimps, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they would always keep the best looking ones for themselves. That's a historical fact.
Wow.
But prostitution was legal then.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, no, his first wife was when he was younger up here in Missouri.
Gotcha.
And she got typhus and died.
I was
And-
thinking about the one that's portrayed in Tombstone that had the mental problems and was
No, that's his second woman.
opiates and
main
stuff.
squeeze. Yeah, she was addicted to laudanum.
Mm-hmm.
And there's debates of her having those problems. And she did eventually die in San Francisco. She followed the whole family to San Francisco. Here we go.
It's on and popping, baby.
He
Yeah.
fucking just pulls up. That's like pulling up on your motorcycle, dismounting with guns in your hands and looking at some other guys going, "Okay, shit's gonna go down here. Are you fucking ready?"
Oh, he's not even talking about it. Yeah.
No, he's just looking at him saying, "You better be fucking ready because this shit's getting ready to happen."
Yep.
And he hits that guy with a fucking 50 caliber in the chest, and he goes flying backwards. And I'm like going, "Yeah, that'd be the gun to do it."
Yeah. They had some powerful weapons back then, man.
Yeah.
Woof.
Oh, that fucking rifle that Quigley uses, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck, I know this gun and I can't remember the name right now. beast of a rifle.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah.
And he only gets one shot per weapon. He didn't miss.
Nope.
He has 3 weapons. Shoots 3 of them, and then it follows the fat one when he runs. Oh, he's running from it. I do not want to die today.
Yep.
Today is not a good day to die for me. But then he accepts it, his fate, and he begins singing his death song.
Yep.
And it stops him. And he leaves him, and it's because of him. And this happened. This is real. That guy went and started the fucking legend of Jeremiah Johnson or Liver Eating Johnson because he cut out their livers. They don't show that. They're like, we can't show that. He's got to be the good guy, and that's going to look really fucking weird to people. Him cutting them open.
I love that look on Redford's face, though. He looks like he's psychotic in that part of the movie, man. He does.
He is a little bit.
Yeah.
That's sharp.
Well, yeah, that's great.
Great fucking rifle right there, man. 1874. And that one was specially modified for him. And what's funny is Quigley Down Under was so fucking popular a film that they couldn't keep up with orders on that fucking rifle. They were backlogged by months on filling orders for the Sharps.
Yeah, the rest of the movie is him basically defending himself against Crow warriors and him revisiting the people he's met along the way.
He filled his bloodlust. He even sleeps with the dead here. He sleeps with them.
Yep.
These dead bodies. And that's it. His bloodlust is done. But they keep attacking him, and he's fucking killing them.
The guy with the mustache that he found buried up to his neck, I can't remember the character's name.
Dell.
But doesn't he tell him, be glad they're not Comanches? They would have sent everybody after you.
Yeah, because they're just sending them one by one.
Yeah.
Their rite of passage is to go kill him.
Yep.
And he would just kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was man, they're getting these green guys coming after him, young and strong, going up against the guy who was a seasoned warrior.
Yeah, but some of them land a hit or two. Like the tomahawk to the face.
He gets a tomahawk to the head in that one fight coming up.
Yeah.
And he gets speared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
He kills the guy, but not before the guy throws a spear at him. And this is where he visits the cabin again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole end of the movie is like him revisiting the past.
Is going back.
Yep.
And he goes to the cabin where the crazy woman was.
Yep.
And he asks the guy, and the guy's terrified of him.
Yeah.
He knows who he is. He's terrified of him. He's like, you're that crazy liver-eating motherfucker. We've heard about you. And he's making it clear he has no interest in hurting him. Mm-hmm. And then he goes over and finds his fat family hiding down in their little shelter.
Yeah.
You know, anytime the Indians come, we go there, but we can't hear them. You know, sometimes they just come, and they come at night to leave items on what looks like a grave, but it's not a grave. It's a statue. He thinks it's a grave. I'm not dead. He goes, that's not a grave. That's a statue to you. They pay homage to you.
Yeah.
And they say, holy
Doesn't he
shit,
also tell Johnson that, no, Johnson tells them that this won't save you from the Indians hiding in there. They'll find you.
They will find you.
Doesn't he tell him to leave? Then doesn't he tell him to take his family and go?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
The guy isn't frontier material to begin with.
Right.
Here we go. Right here. I love this. And by the way, the casting of those kids, they look like a fucking family. The mom and the
couldn't
kids.
Find anything on them. They're not credited anywhere.
And it made me wonder, maybe they're a real family. I don't know. That was crazy because they look a lot alike. It was creepy. And they look at each other and here, get ready. You know, this is a fight. This is my war face. Show me your war face. Ah. Bullshit. You don't scare me.
Right. Oh, man.
I don't know, but I'm assuming that the beard scenes were all filmed around the same time.
I'd imagine.
And I got to tell you, the makeup for when he's getting the 5 o'clock shadow really look fake.
It looks so bad.
Yeah, it was
So
bad.
fake.
Yeah.
It just looks like he took coal and rubbed it all over his face.
Yeah.
Oh, he did. He grew it and shot like when it was newer looking certain scenes, and the thicker it got, he would shoot those scenes, and then they would shoot the scenes without the beard later. Left the baby to go get some coffee. Oh, in the walker. And when I got back, she was out of the walker trying to climb up into the chair. Yep, that's what happens, man. From that point forward, your job is to make sure they don't break their necks.
That's it.
Primary function of your job as a parent or grandparent with toddlers is keep them from killing themselves.
That's it. Oh, there he is talking that shit. Telling a story everywhere he goes. Love this guy, man.
Yeah, Dell is one of the best characters in this movie.
Is
Again,
that hair I see on your head?
Right? How you been, Jeremiah?
But I like Bear Claw better because he's just crazy.
Can you skin Grizz Pilgrim? That scene is
Good
so
luck
damn funny. I'm
skinning
sorry I
that
wasn't here
pilgrim.
for it, but that's one of the funniest scenes in movie history
Oh,
when
yeah.
he leads him into that cabin.
yeah, and I got to tell
And
you,
jumps out of the window.
Yep.
this actor lived all the way up to 2014, and he was in so many shows from my childhood.
Yep.
He was on The Jeffersons. He was on Barney Miller. This guy was great.
Mhm.
He's also plays a teacher, Mr. Morton, in the movie Carrie. Go back and watch that movie.
Oh yeah.
But he was best in comedy, in my opinion. Beliefs. But he was also, by the way, 1970s. He was the mayor of the town in High Plains Drifter.
Yes. Yes, he was.
Which has been interpreted as a ghost story, but the way I've always, it's in there. If you listen to Clint Eastwood's interviews about it, he treated it as though he were the brother of the dead sheriff that they murdered. And because there are so many scenes in there that kind of allude to him being a ghost, like the way he turns when you hear the whip, and the guy that uses the whip is the guy that whipped him to death in the movie, the sheriff. But he really believed that when he played the character, he played it as if he were the brother. But he understands later, he says, I've gotten older, I've looked at the film and I've looked at, and I get it, that there is this supernatural element that I might be the avenging spirit of this murdered sheriff. But he said, the way it was written and the way I played it was I was the surviving brother coming there to kill those responsible for the murder of my brother. Because that last line when he's leaving town,
yes,
he looks down at the little dwarf actor and he says, we never got your name, stranger. He goes, you know my name. And then you see the tombstone that he's working on was his brother's tombstone.
Yeah,
and
Marshall.
Yep. But the fact is he said that line to say, you know my last name, and that I'm his brother. But the fact is, when you look at it and the way they shot that ending,
he fades into the heat.
Fades in from the heat, like from nowhere, he fades in and he fades out the same way. And it's very much, in my opinion, a ghost story.
Yeah, I think so too. I
don't care.
Even exactly. Even if they want it to be the brother, I don't care. I interpret it as a ghost story. That
it is the avenging
ghost
of
coming
the
back
man
to
that
get
was
this
murdered.
whole town, get even with the entire town.
Yeah, it wasn't just those that killed him. It's those that let it happen.
Let it happen. Sat there
nothing.
and watched it. Yep. Guess what? You're gonna watch it again, and I'm gonna destroy your town as I do this.
There is an interpretation that Pale Rider may actually be the same character.
There's a lot of similarities. Because
that is a fan
how
theory.
could he survive 6 gunshots to the chest? How could he survive that shit? You know what I'm saying?
He's a specter that travels the country avenging those wronged. And I love that movie. Pale Rider is a great film.
It is. It's fantastic. The whole twist that he's a minister is really great. I mean, I think that's awesome. You know,
there's the grave. It's not a grave, actually. It's a statue. They explain to him, no, it's a statue.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that pistol, and he's laying there waiting for that guy. And he turns and he's watching the horse, because the horse is going to tell him when he's moving closer.
Yep.
And as he looks at that horse, he watches its nostrils, its mouth, its eyes. And when its eyes shift and nose opens, he turns and fires, but the guy throws a spear at that same moment and nails him in the gut. But he survives.
Yeah.
Deliberately ambiguous, very much so.
Yep. Both are great movies. I like High Plains Drifter better, but it's a little bit more gritty than Pale Rider.
It's mean.
Yeah.
It's mean in a way that's enjoyable. And I love the literal painting the town red.
Yes. It's awesome.
So
paint hell on the sign for the town on it. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Those guys had no clue what they were riding into.
The family's hiding in that little shack, you know, and he's like, they're gonna find you. You can't fucking hide in here. The best thing for you to do is try to fight till you're all dead.
Mm-hmm. I thought he told him to leave.
Yeah, behind the cornfield. Cornfield. Oh my God.
Your English isn't Englishing.
That guy was in a lot of stuff back then too. The dad of this bunch. Yeah. He was in a lot of movies back then.
Yeah, Josie Wells still follows the same revenge thing because, again, it's his family that these guys, these marauders, killed, and they left him for dead. And he survived.
But you know what? I got out of Josie Wales? It was more geared towards veterans, man, of war. The whole story of them chasing him down, and that final scene where he tells him he's got the first shot. I owe him at least that much because of everything he's been through, you know. And what did Clint say at the end of that? I guess we all died a little in that war. I always thought it was like a Western version of the Vietnam War. Something about that, you know. Love that. I think that's the greatest Western ever made. That's my personal opinion. I love The Outlaw Josie Wales.
It also had one of my favorite American Indian actors in it, is Chief Dan George.
Oh my God. Endeavor to persevere.
He has one of my favorite lines of an American Indian character in any film is in the movie Little Big Man with Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, yeah.
And he's up there on top of this tree on the platform waiting to die. And the line is, today is a good day to die. And then while he's up there, Hoffman's talking to him, and it begins to rain on him. And he says, I guess today was not a good day to die. And he climbs down the tree and gets out of the tree. It's funny as shit.
My favorite one's Outlaw Josie Wales. He's sitting there after he says endeavor to persevere. He goes, we thought about it. And then we decided to declare war in the United States. Endeavor to persevere.
A lot of people forgot that, man. Chief Dan George was something else.
He was something else, man. Yeah.
Him and because Will Sampson's in that too. He plays, I think, 10 Bears was his character's name.
Yep.
It's
10 Bears.
Just the two best known American.
That's my
Indian
favorite
actors.
scene in that movie is when he tells them, "Hey, I'm here to tell you people can live together without butchering one another." That scene between them in front of all of his people was pierce de resistance. Love it. Awesome. Love that scene.
Another actor that people forget about is Jace Silverhills, who played in The Lone Ranger. And what is his name? He was on Carson and got like the longest laugh in television history.
Yeah.
God, another American Indian actor. And he came on Johnny Carson's show and threw a tomahawk at a silhouette on
Wow.
stage. And as he threw the tomahawk, instead of hitting in the chest where he intended it to go, it hits the crotch.
Oh yeah, I remember you showed me that.
And it was
He
it
looks-
was listed as the longest laugh in television history
Wow.
when he
I
hit
They
that crotch.
were
Say before we
all
pass,
Because he
hilarious.
tried to retrieve the tomahawk, and Carson grabbed and went, "No, leave it alone." Can't.
That's perfect,
And he
right?
points at the camera, keep watching, keep cutting to that thing. And the audience just lost their shit, not only over it happening, but how Carson milked that laugh. And it got listed as the single longest laugh. And it seemed like his name was Ames. I'm trying to remember his name. Let me look it up. American Indian actor in Daniel Boone.
I gotta say real quick.
Ed
while you're
Ames.
doing that.
I got the last name.
Yay!
I remembered the last name, couldn't remember the first name. Ed Ames. Great fucking American Indian actor.
Yep.
And yeah, he absolutely did that fucking tomahawk live on the Carson show back when it was live.
I just wanted to say in this scene, he looks so tired. He is beaten down
Well,
from all this
they
fighting.
put makeup. Yeah, they
Yeah.
put makeup on him. They were trying to show him aged a little bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it
He
just
just
makes
looks
him
so
look
tired.
He looks
Yeah.
tired and sickly is really all he looks like.
Yeah.
But they're trying to age him up with the eyes, and it didn't work. It just makes him look sickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. He runs into fucking what's his
Bear
name?
Claw.
Bear Claw.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
Bear Claw.
And apparently it was a thing that they would run into each other but never stick with each other. They
Well, he
went
was a
on
nomad.
their own.
This guy right here, Bear Claw's a nomad, man. He never stayed in any one place long.
No,
And
he,
he
had
also-
a hut. He had a hut, but an avalanche took it. He
Mhm.
had a house, but now he's on the move because donkey is dead, house is gone, moving on.
He don't even know what time of year it is. He's just so beaten down from all these attacks and having to
But
defend
they
himself.
both don't know.
Yeah.
They're guessing. March, maybe April. No, more like March.
This is pretty close to the end of it here.
Yeah. You got really only one more scene left.
Yeah, and it's my favorite one in the movie because he just looks like he's just grateful that the guy isn't trying to kill him. That
It's over.
I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
And just some great dialogue between these two throughout the film. And again, he constantly calls him Pilgrim in it, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to think because he asks some very specific questions here. Like basically, have you had enough? And he goes into this great thing. Let me go look up the lines here because it's just some great stuff.
He just
And
looks so tired, dude. He's like, beaten down.
his responses are ironic statements.
Yeah.
I love the use of words like kilt. There it is. You've come far, Pilgrim.
Mhm.
Feels like far. And he says, worth the trouble? Huh? What trouble?
What trouble? Right.
He says it right there. What trouble?
Mhm.
And it shows where he's at mentally.
Yeah.
What trouble? And he did. Look, this guy wasn't done yet, man. This
No.
guy had a full life. He lived all the way to 1900. He died at the age of 76.
Wow. Yeah, here
And
it is.
most mountain men didn't live that long.
No.
And this guy fucking lived a long time. He was hard as nails. He just fucking took it. And he fought in the Civil War. Served again. And like I said, served honorably and was discharged in 1865. He went back west because he served in a Colorado unit. There, this is the moment here. This is where it's over. He knows
Yeah.
it's over. They're not going to attack him anymore.
Mm-hmm. And he's
We're
so
done.
grateful. Oh.
And
Yeah.
this is where that moment earlier in the film where he does the nod, that's where we needed it. That's where we needed it. Was like,
Mm-hmm.
but
he's so desperate to just live and not be attacked anymore.
And he puts his hand up to him too.
Yeah, but then it just extends it and just like, thank you. Basically, what he's saying there. It's just he's so grateful.
You can tell he's relieved.
Yep, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's not that he's relieved of having to fight. He's relieved of not having to kill any more American.
Right.
Indians.
I don't want to have to kill.
I'm tired of killing. But then he goes off and fucking fights in the war.
Yep.
And does some more.
He was just tired of the taste of liver.
Yeah.
You do get tired of it. It's an organ meat. And I got to be honest, other than my sisters and my nieces, when they make traditional Jewish beef liver pate, I don't fucking like liver. Occasionally, I'll break down and have chicken liver. Like fried.
Love liver.
Fried chicken livers are some of the best stuff you'll ever eat.
And
so
I don't mean like fried in deep oil, but pan fried.
Yeah,
I like pan fried. I like a little burning to it, a little singe to it, a little blackened.
Give me some batter and crisp it up. What's up? It's awesome. You got the crisp on the outside, and you bite into that liver. It's soft, and it's awesome. Oh, a little bit of salt. It's great.
Oh, come on, guys.
Okay, here's one of my favorite stupid jokes I made. I'm hanging out with my buddy Marshall Devaney, and we go to Lake of the Ozarks, and we go to this bar with a really nice grill, and they made blackened what was that fish? It's one of the bigger fishes. I can't remember what it was. Not bass. It was something.
Red snapper.
But it might have been. It was blackened New Orleans style.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my fish, and I looked over at Marshall, and I leaned down to my food with my ear. He's, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, "I'm making sure that it's blackened properly." He goes, "Well, how can you tell?" I said, "If you lean in close, you can hear it go, 'Yo, mama.'"
Oh my God.
I knew something like that was coming. It's saying something.
And he just sort of he chuckled for a second. He goes, "You're an asshole." I went, "I know." That's what I do.
Might have been salmon. They blacken salmon quite a bit.
No, it wasn't salmon. I hate salmon. I don't like salmon.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of salmon. I like whitefish. I don't like carp, but I like catfish. I love sunfish. I like trout. I like bass, and I like the same family as sunfish, bluegill. I fucking love bluegill. But man, I just fucking, and of course, whitefish from the ocean. I like that too. I think it's a terrible health wise. I think it is tilapia. It's not a healthy fish to eat, but I'll eat that too. Yeah, there you go. That's racist. I'm so sorry. I had no idea we had a racist here.
A racist.
What movie is that?
Don't know.
Meaning of Life, Monty Python.
Oh God!
I'm so sorry.
That's the one I've seen.
I had no idea we had a racist here.
The Meaning of Life is the one I've seen the least. I've seen the one with the compilation of sketches, something completely different more than
something completely different.
Yeah,
I like that one. But Meaning of Life has some great stuff in it. Like you see the scene with Mr. Creosote when he explodes, right?
Yes,
and
of course.
Right after that is the cleaning, where they have the cleaning woman played by Terry Jones. She's doing her talk. He's doing that woman talk that he does. When I look back at it, because they're talking about the meaning of life.
Mm-hmm.
With all is said and done, at least I can say I didn't work for the Jews. And he goes, he coughs up, and he grabs the bucket of vomit that she's cleaned up and puts the bucket with the vomit on her head and it pours down. And he looks at the cameraman going, I'm so sorry. I had no idea we had a racist working for us.
A racist in the room, yeah.
Please don't go. And the camera begins to pull back and go away.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, man. Oh, shit.
I love that movie, dude. I love that movie.
I like a lot of their stuff. I do.
With Death, it was shot to look like an Ingmar Bergman film where Death comes to dinner and he's at the door and he's got his scythe and he knocks on the door. It's like at his feet and he slams the scythe against the door. Boom, boom, boom. And the door opens and it's just this typical fucking middle-class rich family having dinner at their country cottage. And he says, he goes, wait, if you're Death, who are you here for? Everyone, Everyone? He goes, you're all dead. How did we all die? And the skeletal hand comes down and points at this one dish, and it's the salmon mousse. Oh, the salmon mousse. Oh, I should have known not to use canned salmon when I made that. And the whole scene's going by, and finally they're all in agreement to go with him. And they're all hop skipping out of the house. And the last one, played by Cleese's little buddy, is dressed as a woman. She goes, wait a minute, I didn't have the salmon mousse. Death is indiscriminate.
Oh, man. But this is an awesome movie. I love Jeremiah Johnson. I think it's great.
It's one of my favorite films from my childhood, and it's fun to watch it again with Anima.
Yeah,
to get to watch this film that I loved as a kid, because I haven't seen it since I was a little boy.
Really?
Yeah. The only time I saw it
every 2 years. About once every 2 years, I put it on.
Only time I ever caught it was on TV. It was playing, and I just stopped and I finished watching it, and I was still a fucking kid.
Yeah, it's definitely a drop the remote movie if you're cycling through the channels, no doubt. So, but you're going to be there a while, especially if it's on commercial television. You're going to be there a while.
And the movie is based on 2 books, The Mountain Man by Vardis Fisher and the book Crow Killer, the story of Liv Reeton Johnson. And he was a fascinating character. And the movie also touches a little bit on another book that talks about American Indian burials, because he based some of the stuff off of that book for the scene of the graveyard, but it was wrong in its interpretation because you can ride through it. You just don't disturb anything. Don't touch anything. That was their rules. But that was because he needed a more clear reason why he rampaged and why they killed him, rather than trying to explain what really just happened. Was she didn't see him, and because she was looking the wrong way down that river instead of upriver, and they were there to steal shit.
Wow.
And I think even if she was inside the cabin, she probably would have been killed anyway. It's a sad fact. But
rough time, different time, no doubt.
And not only did he serve in the army, he also served as a merchant marine. Spent some time on water, naval battles, shit. Gene Siskel, the Chicago Tribune, 3 out of 4. Oddly enough, it is of violent scenes, the ones that don't work within the story. Yeah, I don't. Gene Siskel. Roger Ebert was the better critic of the two. And even he fucked up reviews. But this is, of course, where he is now buried. You can actually go there.
And what state's this in? Did you say it was Wyoming earlier?
Well, if you go to Red Lodge, Montana, you can go see his cabin where he was a sheriff and a marshal, or he's a deputy and a marshal. And if you go to Cody, Wyoming, is where he's now buried. And again, it was school children and their teacher that got his body moved from Southern California. Because he died at the veterans home, and they gave him a funeral, a burial in the military cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
And
they had him exhumed and moved.
Exhumed and moved. Okay. This is his home. This is where he belongs. Mm-hmm. And then they had an artist sculpt that statue. Man, I think it's gorgeous. And then they cast it in bronze. Wow. It's a beautiful monument. If you're ever on a pilgrimage, that's one I'd go to. So again, you can go to see his cabin in Red Lodge, Montana, which is where he was a lawman, or you can go to Cody, Wyoming, and see where he's buried. And there's a dedicated plaque there where it writes, Liver Eaton Johnson.
Liver Eaton Johnson. That visual just it looks bad. It does.
You think?
It does.
Yeah, how they pulled off that scene with the wolves was really interesting, because a lot of those wolves weren't real wolves, alive wolves. But he made them look alive with his movement. And with the sound effects and with the actual real wolves moving around constantly, the editing on that was really well done. Mm-hmm. To make it look like he was fighting these things. It says Charles Champlin, Los Angeles Times, praised the film for a rare and tonic authenticity, elaborating that, quote, the film does not so much reveal a way of life as thrust us inside it. It's an abrupt film. So I definitely a fan of this film. And again, why we do it on Military Monday is this guy was a hardcore veteran and definitely suffered from combat fatigue, post-traumatic stress, shell shock. Doesn't matter the war. It's a fucking thing that happens to guys who see too much killing. It's not at a suburb. It's located, here it is right here. It's at Red Lodge's tourist facility, their headquarters. And it's right there, and you can walk right up and go to it. I don't know if they let you in, but you can go to it. And of course, right next to it there's this rock with some a plaque on it. I don't know what's written on it. I would love to go there and go see this, do a little pilgrimage of my own. I don't know. Not an artist I'm aware of. I don't know who did that, because they used the photograph and they did it beautifully of him standing in the tracks in the snow. It's perfect. I can look that up real quick. The original 1972 half-sheet movie poster for Jeremiah Jones was created by Ted Kokonis. The poster, measuring 22 by 28, was printed in the United States for remote theatrical release of the film. And it's a gorgeous fucking piece. It really is. The way he painted it gives that sense of isolation. And I'm looking to see what else he's created.
As far as movie posters, you mean?
Yeah, because he did book covers too. He did the movie posters for the movie Petulia, 1968, Finian's Rainbow, 68, The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie, I know that one, 1969, Dorian Gray, 1970, Fiddler on the Roof, I know that one, Man
yeah, I do too.
Mancha, I will never forget that poster. So he did that one too. He did the poster for the 1974 Valentine's show for the Muppets. He did the poster 77 for The Other Side of Midnight. That's a sexy poster if you've ever seen it. He did the Sean Connery poster, which is also gorgeous, for the movie Cuba, 1979. Have you guys ever seen that one? Let me see if I can get that one pulled up. There we go.
Cuba?
Yeah. Your screen. Here we go. Share. All right, Martin, you can pull it up if you want to. This poster right here.
Wow.
It's a gorgeous poster, dude.
That is cool. I'm gonna have to look that up so I can see the smaller figures around it. But that's great portrait of Sean Connery, though. Who's the actress? Who's the actress?
Who the fuck is that? That's Denholm Elliott, Martin Balsam, Chris Sarandon. Chris Sarandon gets smoked at the end too.
Brooke Adams? Is that the girl?
Brooke Adams.
Okay.
Very pretty actress. She was gorgeous. And that was back when she was young. And he also did this painting. You gonna react? Anybody?
Oh, shoot. Labyrinth? That's famous. You kidding me? Good Lord. That's one of the most famous ones ever.
Yep, he did that one.
Great portrait of both of them, actually. But, of course, you know, you recognize the singer. I'm having a mental block on his Bowie. You recognize him right away. Yep.
And he did the artwork for Man from La Mancha. Let me show you this one, which is just a wonderful film if you've ever seen it. That's the album. That's Peter O'Toole and Sophia Loren.
Mm-hmm.
Great little movie. Look at that artwork, though. I like this guy's artwork, man.
That's awesome. Yep.
Hard to believe how much he did that I actually know. Then he did the Spanish version of the album for Hair soundtrack. They did a bunch of book covers, which I don't have any of the books listed here.
Have you ever thought about doing Hair on Military Monday?
No.
Really?
Because I hate hippies. That's a fucking hippie movie. And
it is, but I mean, you know, that part that always gets me in that movie is the part with it looks like the back of a C-5A Galaxy is what it looks like. Because it's just an never-ending flow of bodies into a plane. It's kind of a metaphor for the Vietnam War, how many people we lost there and stuff like that.
Gary,
that visual I never forgot. Yeah,
we need the clip of South Park that says "Money."
What? Something broke down in that.
Yeah,
say it again.
We lost something.
A clip from South Park that says.
Hippies don't have money.
Yeah. Zoe got fixated with hippies, man. She wanted to let her hair go, be a flower child. I said, baby, you don't want to be a hippie. I was around them as a kid, and they were gross. They either stank of body odor or patchouli. They just stunk all the time. Yeah, Man of La Mancha, good film, man. I like musicals. I actually really do. I know it's weird, but I do. So, but anyway, that's it. I've said all I really fucking give a shit to say.
Is that right? I think you've got more to say, Gary. I think you do.
I'm done. Like a porterhouse steak, I'm done. Pull me up the damn grill. Leave me bleeding. I should be bleeding a little. And what's interesting is, like, you know, Anima watches this movie, and she's from an area where, you know, people aren't like that, you know, and her reaction to the film, she loved the film. I mean, she can tell you herself if she unmutes.
Rocket Kitty, man. I just want to spare you her bitching and meowing.
So just give us your basic assessment of this film and your reaction to it and what you liked.
what's not to like? I mean, it's just when you see them as a happy family and you know that it's coming.
You feel it. You
Yeah,
never
you
even
feel
seen it, and you just knew this is not permanent. This is not going to bode well.
Yeah.
Or end well.
They're too happy.
Gambit says he gives one thumb up and one thumb down for the trailer of One Battle After Another. I'm not going to watch it because I know what they're doing.
Oh,
because both DiCaprio and Penn are socialists. So they're going to make the bad guys look like heroes, and they're going to make the guys that are out there risking their lives fighting these people look like the bad guys.
Yeah, I'm already
Sean
not
Penn's the villain. Sean Penn is the villain, and the hero of the film is a fucking murderer. Is DiCaprio's character?
When I saw the pregnant chick cutting loose with a
Yeah.
machine gun, I was like, "Nah, this is not for me."
Pregnant, firing a machine gun.
I
So
mean, like
heroic.
8 months pregnant. Yeah, just come on.
I'm just like, fuck off, man.
What are you doing?
They're garbage people. They really are. Fuck DiCaprio and fuck Sean Penn with their politics.
The best thing is fucking DiCaprio have a mega jet that for each hour that is its motors are running, they made more carbon than your car for a whole year, and he has a plane and he's had tons of money, but he says to you, you had to be a commie. The fucking champagne commie tells you that being a commie is cool. Fuck him.
Yep. The only mistake that Sharon Tate and what's his name? The Polish director.
Roman Polanski.
Yeah, the only mistake they made was moving into that house. That's why they're dead.
That's why they're dead. Yeah.
That house was specifically targeted by Manson himself because of who lived there before. And he felt that they had screwed him over. And wasn't it Dennis? It was the drummer.
It was one of the Beach Boys. Yeah,
it was the
I can't remember.
Drummer from the Beach Boys. Mm-hmm. He said they owed me money and blah 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 and bullshit. I'll give this. Well, look, Sean Penn's one of those guys that I'll give you. There's a few films of his that I think are good. I don't like him as an actor. I got to be honest. He has been a fucking shitheel since the 80s, and it wasn't just his politics; it was his behavior as a person. Somebody made a great joke though back in the 80s when they said, "I prefer Sean Penn when he was prima donna."
No pun intended.
And it was clearly a pun that he dated and had a long-term relationship with Madonna.
Yeah.
An abusive relationship, I'm sure, on both sides because I think they're both psychopaths.
Right around that time, and I was going to say that kind of like what we were saying about Fonda, Hanoi Jane. I view him the same way. I like the stuff he's in, not because of him, because of other people. Around the time he was with Madonna, she did a theme song for movie he was in. About,
movie at Close Range.
It was loosely based on a true story about a family of
thieves.
Yeah,
the family sued them.
Yeah.
Because of the misrepresentation in the film. But it's still an emotional movie. It's good.
It's a great movie. I thought it was fantastic.
At Close Range.
That's the name of it. And it's a really good movie. And the song is fantastic. Yeah.
It's the only Madonna song I've ever liked. It's called Live to Tell.
Live to Tell. Yeah. I love that movie. I think it's great, man.
He treated Hannity like shit in that interview. He's a fucking prick. I can't stand him. Because we've come to, and by the way, his recent statements, what it is he sees how the country is turning on the left. And so and now he's like going, we need to be better than this. You didn't worry about it before, Sean, the way you fucking talked, the way you acted. But now it's important because you're losing. You're losing your stranglehold on this fucking country. you've had pretty much for 40 fucking years. Fuck that guy. Because this is all we've come down to this decade. Movies have become politically catered. Yeah, the villains, exactly. Disney. I won't watch those fucking movies.
Well, I was
Oh.
watching.
Guys, if we go there, the show is never going to end.
Yeah,
Well,
no doubt.
We will do Taps.
Yes,
Alpha.
please. And oh God,
we will
yes.
do Taps. And Sean Penn didn't ruin that movie for me.
No.
Tom Cruise is a highlight. I like Timothy Hutton in it. He's really good. And George C. Scott,
I was fixing to say I like it because of the other people. Timothy Hutton, Ronnie Cox as the National Guard leader. I mean, that's a great movie. It's fantastic.
You're
not because of Sean Penn.
You're ordering me to shoot Americans that have taken over a military school to keep it from being shut down, because that's what's going to happen. They're fighting the system to keep their military school open.
Yep.
And fucking Tom Cruise goes nuts.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
And then he gets smoked, and I'm like, yay!
The best scene in that movie, though, brother, is when Ronnie Cox is talking to him at the fence, and he said, "Somebody's put you in love with death." He said, "I'm a soldier," and he goes, "No, God damn it, you're not a soldier. I'm a soldier with the goal of every soldier to stay alive in places where it's not that easy to do."
Yeah, stay alive, and also the people who hate war the most are those who fight it.
Yeah,
those who have to wage it. So anyway, I'm pretty much done here. I was done a few minutes ago. I'm done talking about this movie. Great.
It's
film.
great. Go watch it.
It's one that I absolutely. I saw someone in the chat gave it a 10 out of 10. I do too. My dad's one gripe about this film, only gripe, nitpick, was the leather cut for the sole of the shoe. It was left or right footed, and that doesn't exist at that time in America, in that part of America. So there you go. Anyway, that's the end of that, and we're gonna get the hell out of here. Everybody have a great Monday, and we will see you again. Well, is the Chief doing a show tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. Lock, stock, and two smoking barrels, my man.
That's a good movie. I like that film.
Oh, yeah.
All right, wow. Cool beans. And then we'll be back Wednesday. We're going to be doing starting Halloween, our 30 days of Halloween. And we're going to start the month off with some Godzilla.
I love
the American Godzilla.
Kaiju.
I'm going to cover the American Godzilla and Kong films. The current Monsterverse.
Just don't do 98 because you know Das Wolfen will never.
No, it's current Monsterverse.
Not going to do that one. So anyway, we're going to get the hell out of here. Everybody have a great day today. We'll see you later.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.